Can you save us, Britney Spears? Can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
Here comes Santa. Here comes the world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing rule. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunning linguists, good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically, good guys. Conspiracies, sex, culture, making it's okay to change your thinking, good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys. The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing rule. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunning linguists, good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically, good guys. Conspiracy, sex, culture, making it's okay to change your thinking, good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys.
Big up yourself and welcome back to another episode of the Secret Society of Good Guys. Jeez. As always, we are your good guys, and you don't even know what an intro I just gave us, but we were all backstage, so it was just to me. Big up yourself. It was just to me, but I needed it. So, hi, good guys. How are you? Happy Friday the 13th into Valentine's Day. So, I figured what perfect people to hang out with and talk about bloody Valentine shit.
And congratulations for getting the strike taken off your channel from the video
boom,
we did.
Boom. That's actually why I wanted to say the word adrenochrome as many times as I could this episode, because I feel like the more times I can say adrenochrome, then the more times it becomes a norm in the Epstein and the Pizzagate of it all, that eventually Thomas can release all the real research he's done and put it on places like YouTube without getting taken down. So
Never.
No, it'll probably happen.
At this point, YouTube doesn't deserve all the adrenochrome research that I've got.
That is truth. But I did get my episode of adrenochrome that was it's probably 3 or 4 years old now with Thomas. They just gave it back to me today on this channel. So if you guys want to and go and check it out, and it'll just help Al Gore's rhythm. But Thomas has done better episodes of it since. So it used to be my favorite episode I've done, but I've seen Thomas give the whole entire thing. Like, he has more. And that was like his, like a practice run, I think, of where you've gone with it. So I don't know. Maybe
a little bit better each time.
Maybe we'll talk about some of it tonight, since it's my bloody Valentine.
May as well.
I know. How are you, Abbie?
I'm great. How about you guys?
Nah. I'm doing all right. I did lose my dog bestie this week, which was a little bit of she was an old lady. But I think a lot of people out there go through that kind of loss in their life of having to make the decision to put something down. And the vet this time told me something that I'm like, gosh, you know how much I've been doing this for 40 years. This would have been great information for somebody to relay me before. And so I wanted to relay it to you guys now. I hope you never need it, but one day maybe it'll be in your head. And I'm sitting there and she's telling me like all the stuff going on. And, you know, like the only decision pretty much is if today's going to be the day. And you know, we're a mess. You're emotionally a mess and all the things. And I'm like, oh, it's such a heavy decision to make. And the vet grabbed my hand and she said, it's not your decision. It's her body's decision. And I was like, oh my gosh, Thank you for, like, why didn't anyone ever say that in the history of animals being put to sleep? So I just figured I would relay that to you guys, and hopefully you never need it. But if you ever do need it and it just sticks in the back of your head, because it really is like a helpful thing. And I had almost 20 years.
Does that mean you don't put the dog to sleep and you just let the dog put itself to sleep?
Well, that was the whole thing. If we wouldn't have gone to the vet, I think she probably wouldn't have made it for the extra day. So the vet was it was like a really kind way of being like, you girls can take this home and solder wire it and duct tape it as long as you want to. I'm not telling you when this decision would be, but come on, ladies. You know, she did not say, like, I guess as a vet, that would probably be your,
honestly,
like,
that's
I can't tell
a
them.
lot of respect to that vet, because I feel kind of the same as I do for doctors, where you show up with a minor problem and they're just like, x-ray, MRI, drugs, you know what I mean? Like, they just...
Oh, that happens to you? I go to the doctor for something and they're like, it could be major, and they're like, it's in your head. There's nothing wrong with you.
Well, because you're a woman with ovaries, and that makes sense that they say that to you.
Yeah.
My girlfriend always talks about this constantly, about how, like, doctors, if a guy goes in and you're like, I hurt my back, I think, they're like, oh my God, sit down, like, clear my schedule, we're gonna get this taken care of. But like, a woman goes in that has like the same pain, and it's just like, honey, like, have an aspirin.
Yeah, I mean, it only took me like 40 years to find out I broke my spine, so...
To be fair with that whole thing, I blame women for that, because they are like that to each other. If any man in their life stubs their toe or comes down with a cold, they take care of them to the nth. And if any woman in their life comes down with the same thing, they're like, Abbie can go to work, that bitch. She didn't have a problem partying last Friday. And you're like, well, it's been a week since last Friday. Maybe she caught a cold. Like, ladies hold each other. Like, the glass ceiling isn't glass because there ain't no getting through. Some ladies, it's an iron dome. They just are going to be like ladies hold each other to some high ass standard. If a girl tells their man, I don't feel good today, he's like, stay in bed. Like, he doesn't hold her to the standard. But if she calls her mom and's like, I don't feel good today, her mom's like, you lazy sack of shit. Like, women are weird to each other.
Go take a couple ibuprofen, you'll be fine.
Yeah. So there's been the Epstein things this week. That's been like, on no pun intended, on
I
the
hope
tip
they
of
catch
everyone's
that
tongue.
guy at some point. He's done so many bad things. Just find him already.
If only anyone knew. Like, if only anyone knew any of the details of the things. It's just like, in the crawl that we're going through, I've been having a really fun time remembering everybody from 2016 that was saying the damn thing, and just having this little photographic auditory memory. And so I found all of Eddie Bravo's old Joe Rogan. Every time Eddie brought up Pizzagate, not the ones with Alex Jones, that's the obvious ones. It's the fight companions and things like that. So I also found him fighting with Brian Callen, which was, it like, the second it happened, I thought in my head, ooh, the lady doth protest too much. Like, Brian Callen, like us hanging out right now, and I'm like, have you guys ever heard of Pizzagate? And all of a sudden, Abbie's like, that's been fucking disproved by all the biggest like, she just starts going off on me like, damn, bitch. Even where Joe Rogan's like, you're gonna have to calm down, Callen.
I'm gonna show you Snopes right now.
Yeah.
You know what? It's like threefold, right? So when Pizzagate comes up, some people think that it's the most extreme. They think frazzled drip, but they don't. Most normies that are shooting it down and like, oh my God, that's all been disproven. They're talking about an article that they probably read that was disproving frazzled drip and was tying it to Pizzagate. So like, there's that angle. It's easy to shoot down. And then there's the Pizzagate angle where they're talking about the handkerchiefs and the pizza. Like, that's legitimately where it comes from. And the speculation, like, what are they talking about? What do you mean? Like a pizza related map, and like, what are all these references? And then, oh, who's this James Elefantis guy? Oh, what are these weird tweets? And why are these kids in like weird bondage? And they're like making really strange jokes. And oh, look at these interesting musical acts. Let's go and look in their videos and their lyrics. Oh, this is a children's place. Like, none of that makes sense. There's like the rational version of Pizzagate of this is weird. Look into this. And then somewhere in between those two is where people think about the guy that like showed up and shot the cash register, right? And then didn't he just subsequently like die recently too, and like something completely unrelated? So like the spectrum is, okay, this is weird. What is this about? That's also Pizzagate. Like what is the pizza reference? Like, is there any explanation? Who's this James Elefantis? That is the most rational version of Pizzagate that I don't think has even been close to been disproven. If anything, it's been brushed under the rug.
Right.
And it's almost, in my opinion, if you wanted to play psyops on top of psyops on top of psyops, Pizzagate it's like almost like Pizzagate's happening, and whatever the cabal is decident that they're willing to cut loose Epstein to bury Pizzagate. That's what it feels like. Like Epstein's already been figured out. We've already covered this. Like even back when, before Epstein died, before he got arrested, before all the things, it was Podesta's WikiLeaks emails that got us everything that is Pizzagate. I would say the next layer of that is everybody's assumptions, because there used to be stuff on the boards about Anthony Weiner's laptop was layers to frazzle drip to like.
Right. Well, that's where what came from. There was a file on one of the Anthony Weiner's laptops that was named frazzled.rip. And that's where the word frazzled drip comes from. It wasn't drip, it was frazzled.rip. And that apparently once you went inside that folder, it had things that made police officers cry and resign, I guess. That angle too, I don't know how much I really believe about that. I don't think that there was a video so horrific the cops watched it and they were like throwing up and crying. I don't think any of that.
Well, it wasn't that they were throwing up and crying. It was 9 of like the 11 detectives that saw it killed themselves. And they blamed it all on depression and just cop stuff. And all the research that you do around that, the average year of death or suicide in the rate of New York for police officers, every other year before that and every year after that is an average of 5. That year, it was like 11. So even if half of them killed themselves, the other 6 that just happened to see this laptop, and they said it was the most horrific thing they had ever seen in all their years of police force. And so then people theorized that it was Huma Abedin. And I'm going to say some nasty shit, but we're 12 minutes in and they're in Pizzagate. And now people are talking about torture videos from world leaders. So here we are. Let's see, YouTube. Let's see how far we go with this.
I'd be careful. Whatever,
we're here now. This is always what I like. We're walking on the edge. We're actually raging against the machine over here. I even forgot what I was going to say in the pizza. Oh yeah. So Hillary Clinton and Huma Abedin, and say something. I've written this to them. Like if they were going to have a lawsuit against me at this point, I'm like, they have enough already. So
allegedly. You keep going. I'll just keep saying
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
So Hillary Clinton and Huma Abedin are taking the face off a child and putting the face on themselves and like scaring this kid. Like,
for the record, I don't personally believe that that's accurate. I don't think that part of it is true. I think
this is just what the thing
I get it.
became.
Yeah, this
isn't
wasn't
whether
the idea
I
to
believe
harvest
it
her
or
adrenochrome though.
Yeah, to scare her in the same way that Lisa Vanderpump might want to save dogs from the Yulin Dog Festival, because things can stay alive a lot longer than you think without their skin. It would be the same as natives would scalp people and they would be alive, and they would have their scalp in their head and they'd be looking at it, and it would induce a next level of fear. This is where all these things came from. Like this is where, whether it's true or not, I don't know. But does Tom Hanks have a volleyball and Ellen have a sweatshirt and Jay-Z wear the same one? And people make the same exact theories about Jean-Michel Basquiat and him being a whole Andy Warhol kid in New York and him painting all these torture art. And just the frazzle drip face is like just one small piece of how yucky it actually is. I don't know. It could just be a lot of coincidences, but it's actually 6 coincidences that make it mathematically impossible.
And how many was that?
I don't even know.
I like to oversimplify it and just be like, Jeffrey Epstein died because someone started criticizing Podesta's art. Because that's kind of the true, like that's the whole story, right? There's so much more to it. But the second someone was like, Hey, John and Tony, like, how come you have all this weird cannibalism stuff? You're like, kill Jeffrey, pull it, like, pull the whole thing.
Well, if there really was a pizza shop, it's not just about it being one pizza shop, because it's Comet and it's Vesta. So what it also did was unravel this whole chain of symbolism that now we start looking into. All these politicians have pizza parlors and all these other politicians have ice cream shops. It's like it starts to become a lot of coincidences that you're like, oh my gosh, other politicians legit got paid by, I just gave you a shipping container as payment. And now you get to put that shipping container and you get to put it on a vessel and it goes from shore to shore to shore and you make money. And all you have to know is you want the most valuable cargo in that shipping container. You don't want, I mean, it could be plastic or it could be cocaine or what else? What else do you have that's more valuable than that? Once people think they're not human, and this is why I also put vampires on here, these people, in my opinion, the reason I think it's all possible and it's what they're up to, and even if in a small level it's schizophrenia, these people are consumed by a demon. Like they are an altar and something's taken over them. And in my opinion, them doing twisted shit to little people makes them feel like a titan. And so the titan that has filled them feels like it's still doing the thing that it did when it was a Nephilim however many years ago. They're lying about our history anyway. So that's, in my opinion, it's not so far-fetched if this is what they tell us all these things did beforehand, in my opinion. Like they all ate the thing. They're telling, they want to be gods, and all the gods ate the people. It just seems weird. It's not just one, like we talked about last week. Consuming God seems like a really big thing in every religious trope.
It does.
I don't know. What do you think, Abbie?
Oh, I just totally went back to Dionysus and I saw that the Summer Olympics are going to be in Milan. Is that...
Are vegans allowed to eat gods?
Well, you have to partake, right?
Maybe they already are. That's what Bill Gates' meat is.
Oh, right.
That's what Beyond Meat was all about.
Yeah, it's beyond meat. It's God meat. You're probably already consuming them. It's like Dionysus. I did think it was weird, Abbie. We did the whole research of the Last Supper and Dionysus laying on the Last Supper at the Summer Olympics, and that being a representation of maybe these titans eating gods like Dionysus, and then them mocking the Last Supper. So I looked up the Winter Olympics. Guess where the Last Supper painting is, girl? It's where the Winter Olympics is. So
Wild.
it's like,
it's
so crazy that from the Summer Olympics, they
right.
represented it, and now the painting is actually being held. Is it Milan right now?
Yeah,
I feel like it
Milan.
is. Milan
I said
right
Summer
now.
Olympics, but yeah.
I just thought, oh, that's crazy coinky dink.
It really is. Well, and then, I don't know, for whatever reason, my brain went to also Melania and her movie coming out, or that just came out. I don't know why, but it probably has nothing to do with it, but, you know, I'm just, those things are weaving together.
It is weird that Melania, Caroline Bessette, and Michael Jackson all have a movie come, like, those are like the next 3 movies coming out, biopics. Like Caroline Bessette to JFK Jr.'s wife.
Michael Jackson's already had a few, though, right?
I feel like VH1 did a series from him to like kid to adult, but I feel like it was the Jackson 5. It followed all of them. I could be wrong, but I don't know if Michael's ever really had one. That's exciting. I love Michael Jackson. I think he was framed.
I did too. He was.
Thomas, what do you think?
I don't even know if he died. I'd still like that old man outfit that they would find on like boats, and they're like, then that's Michael Jackson. Like at first I thought that was a silly conspiracy, but I legitimately think that if anyone was crazy enough to fake their own death and just wear suits and wear masks the rest of their lives and have a team of people to do it and make it convincing, it would be Michael Jackson.
Well, because he wore a mask while he was alive, so we have no idea what his face would actually look like.
That's what I theorize. What if this? So you guys are my super spies. And then I'm just like, okay, you guys, we're going to make you crazy eccentric. And over a period of time, you're going to go to the plastic surgeon. And every time you go to the plastic surgeon, you're actually going to come out with a new mask on. And over the years, we're going to make these people think you're like we're going to make these people think you're Elizabeth Taylor or Joan Rivers. So by the time
he was really black down under all that still.
Yeah, he just takes his skin off.
Nobody would know.
No one would fucking know.
You
It's
know
like
what
the
though?
smartest.
But his face kept getting skinnier and skinnier, and the nose, like, how do you hide a bigger nose under a smaller nose?
Obama was playing Biden. I mean, legit. Remember tall Biden? He like came out all of a sudden, and he was so tall to everybody.
He's from downtown, yeah.
Well,
or look at white
his
chicks.
voice was so much like this because he had his nose pinched or something. I don't know.
I think white chicks doing that for Halloween, Abbie. If you and one of your daughters went as white chicks, it would be so funny.
That'd be funny.
It would be so funny.
The dog in a bag.
Yeah, like making my way downtown, go. But then, hey, get up. I don't know. That's one of the. Sorry, my attention span's all over the place. Go back to wherever you guys want to. In all of that, whatever you want to talk about today. If I skipped over things fast, because I also want to talk about the Knights of the Templar a little bit. I want to talk about if you guys have had any weird Valentine's dates or how you feel about Valentine's Day in general, like Valentine's gifts. So, what's up?
I think isn't the origin is about like human sacrifice of some kind. I did a show on it with Donut a year or two ago, and I can't remember how deep we went. I'll have to pull up my notes on it. But there's like a legitimately gruesome story. And when I'm talking about the Valentine's Day massacre, I'm talking about like the mythological roots of Valentine's Day.
Is it like Leprechalia or something?
I don't want to say yes or no without
somebody
without
smart in our audience, which I know it'll take like 15 seconds after I ask for you guys to hear it. Isn't there like a Valentine's Day ritual that has like, I don't know. Maybe I said something close enough to it, but we have like the most brilliant audience in the whole world. So someone will know and answer us.
Yes, we do.
I also think the Templars is so Brokeback Mountain, the two dudes on a horse. Like their logo. I'm going to pull up I don't know if it's called their logo. I don't know if that's the
emblem.
Yeah. What do boys call their thing? That's such a cute letterhead. Like Templar logo.
That's a logo.
Okay.
So I can't
ahead,
remember the
Thomas.
exact moment. It goes back so far where basically any Christian martyr eventually got the name Valentine. So Valentine's Day, turning into like a lover's day, was historically a day that like a Christian was martyred in some capacity.
So weird.
Let's see if it's this one. Oh,
What's that got to
February
do with romance?
15th.
What's romantic about that?
Here, thank you. This is the day after. So.
One or more male goats, which represented sexuality and a dog.
Also known as Lupercal, was a pastoral festival of ancient Rome observed annually on February 15th to purify the city, promoting health and fertility. They love a fertility ritual.
And I mean, with the frazzled drip of it all, they would also wear animal skin, I believe. They would like cut off the skin of a live animal, put it on their body, and run around town with that on.
Oh, look at
Like pig skin? I was just thinking the Super Bowl of it all.
I'm going to move us little cuties. Pink. Pink. Okay, let me make this. Ah, so much is going on. Okay. Totally overstamped. Okay. The festival was
getting stemmed.
Yeah, I'm overstamped. The festival was originally known as February, purifications or purgings. I don't even like that word. Here, you read it, Abbie.
After the Februum, which was used on the day, it was also known as, oh my gosh, why do they have to do this so much? Februatus, and gave its name variously as epithet to Juno Februlis, or Februata in her role as patron deity of that month, to a supposed purification deity called Februs, and to February, the month during which the festival occurred. Ovid connects February to Etruscan word for purging. The name.
So,
okay, go ahead.
Really, I wanted you to say it that many times because it's interesting to me that our month is called this. We act like where people are like, Rome never fell, and that they aren't doing these rituals is kind of a wild concept. Yeah. If like, look how many times they said February in that.
It's wild. An epithet to Juno too.
A wolf festival in the worship of pain.
Well, originally, that's kind of what this month was all about. It was a lead up to this particular ritual.
Look at
okay. The calendar because if February was Juno, is that how many months it's off if we're going by numbers? Or no, it's just like 2, huh? Like if we're doing the deck, Nav, Oct, Sept, it's just like 2 months off.
Well, I don't know if I told you guys this last week, and I really just learned this, and it kind of blew my mind, that Augustus, I can't remember now if Augustus became Octavius or Octavius became Augustus. I can't remember which happened, but the name of the Caesar is like his name actually changed during his reign, and it's weird because we go from it being like a 10th month thing to August, but he might have 2 months named after him.
That wasn't that Cleopatra's son?
Yeah. I think that might be Little Caesar.
Yeah, Little Caesar.
I think that is Little Caesar. I think he is Augustus Octavius. And Augustus Octavius or something about that name. Octavia. It's from the 100.
This gets interesting too, because when they had to do that transition from 10 to 12 months in order to correct all the calendars based on where they were at in that time, they just straight up were like, hey, we're going to skip some days this year, and then we're going to skip a few days a little bit later. So it was 1582. They were like, we're just going to skip 10 days in October. So they took a little bit out of October. This is wild. Like, this is actually how the calendar works. If you go back and try to do like weird date math, it'll usually not even account for this. But this is legit. They skipped 10 days in 1582. And then they skipped another 11 days in 1752. They just straight up said, we're just going to remove these days from this year as if they didn't even exist. And then the rest of the calendar kind of caught up with that. But they've had to just ignore days existing for this to make sense.
So they've been manipulating time forever.
And I mean, no one really had a choice other than to go along with it, right? But it was like they had to,
it doesn't count.
They're cooking the books though, right? That's cooking the books.
Yeah. I feel like they do that because I have, my clock at work. I have 2 clocks in my bedroom. And then my phone. And my phone is always like, I'll adjust the clocks in my bedroom because they don't reflect the time on my phone. It'll be off by a couple minutes. But my work clock is the same exact time as my other 2. They all kind of keep the time. I just feel like they shave minutes and stuff all the time.
The Ides of March this year, that's when the Oscars is. If we do another show with Donut that we do, because I know Thomas likes to watch award shows. But you guys did the Super Bowl. Let's talk about that one. I've been seeing some of the clips come out.
I didn't at all. I didn't even know who won. I didn't care. I slept right through it.
Well, you've been off social media, right? You've been doing
I have.
purge.
Yeah.
It was very underwhelming, the whole sports ball part of it.
Was it?
And the halftime show, I feel like they did a great job goading a bunch of people into hate watching it to see some Puerto Rican wearing a dress, and then that didn't even happen. It was just something else. So I don't know. It felt like a little bit of a letdown. It was definitely a bait and switch.
One thing about it, I did some silly research. And the Super Bowl is not just aired in America anymore. It's aired in like 200 plus countries. And when you look up the majority country of the population that's there, it's Mandarin. And then the next one's Spanish. And then the next one's English. So even the idea of like the American audience, that's not just for us anymore. So the politics around it is used to amp all us up. But it literally has nothing to do with that. It's like, this is international shit. Like Super Bowl, they're trying to just sell a ticket any way they can.
Well, more than just selling a ticket, because the way that we've talked before about pop stars going on these world tours, but really it's like so they can go and perform for, you know, some rich people overseas. I feel that in a similar way, a lot of American sports are kind of used as like a hostile situation, or where they basically they're advertising the goods. They're like, here's the goods that we got, and if you want some of these goods, like, you know what to order, you know which menu item to order. Oh, it was that player on that team. It was the number 68 on the Chiefs or whatever, right? So that now the international audience, the same in like the Nephilim way, that if you wanted to take over a country, you'd have to go and find some daughter of a Nephilim somewhere and make sure that she gave birth to your progeny, and then they can maybe run, you know, like control a country at some point. And I think it's in a similar way that like people use professional sports players. So you'll see like a Kardashian or like some other big celebrity, and they'll pair up with a sports player because those sports players are being advertised. Like, here's the stock we got right now.
Oh, so they're being trafficked just like the Victoria's Secret catalog?
Why wouldn't they be? Yeah, it's like
I actually call that a milking.
Okay.
Like, if the elite are all like, let's say their best of their stock is Musk and Epstein and Gates, you know, like that's the best of this whatever top billionaire shit, whatever. You might want some Tom Brady shit to like carry on your genes a little bit. But it also is a big advertising. Like Taylor Swift was known to do that. When Loki was coming out, she dated that guy. When some guy's album came out, she dated that guy. When after, what was that guy's name? Kaepernick took a knee. The whole entire Super Bowl crumbled underneath that knee. And no one in America watched anymore. So that exact same demographic was the Taylor Swift demographic. So if they could get all those ladies to start caring about Taylor Swift in those games, it brought the football back into the house. And so the whatever thing the husband was like, I'm never watching football again. She's like, well, I'm watching Tay-Tay with Travis. So do you, but this is what I'm up to. And now it's like all the way back on. I did write a couple notes from the Super Bowl because I was going to hang out with you guys, but then Jules ended up being off, and this is the way my like total manic brain works when I'm watching anything. So I'm like, I'm just going to tell you like the raw of it. Okay. First commercial, Wicked for Good. I'm like, all right, here we go. They're taking us into Oz. We're doing all this yellow brick road shit. Here we go. First flag was by number 66, which 66 was a big, huge number for the Golden Gate Bridge to me because it's just 2 G's, like 66. Okay. First flag, after kickoff, the first flag lands on the 33rd yard line, which I realized was a perfect kick for them after a lot of kickoffs. Like if they could hit it on the 33rd, I'm like, that's why you become one of the kickers in the NFL. That has to be. So then they have this commercial where it's like blue for Jew, where they're like, turn your shit blue for Jew. And I was like, oh, that's weird.
Blue for Jew and blue chew. That's all kind of weird.
Well, then the very next commercial was take a look at your pee. And so then I was just like, your pee's
blue for
yellow.
Jew, blue chew,
yeah.
And then look at your pee.
So now I'm in Ukraine. Like all of a sudden, my head is in Ukraine.
It's
I'm
a
like blue and yellow.
spell.
Yeah. So then
who are
the two commercials are Hail Mary right after Disclosure Day. So I thought that was like interesting because one's about a dying son and all this shit, and then like a Hail Mary to resurrect a dying son. That's the name of the movie. I thought was like such a crazy commercial. It was kind of like, this is so hidden. So also, I just thought the whole time, if you watch the movie Him, which if you're into symbology and stuff, it is so interesting. I think people should watch it. And I think most of Jordan Peele's movies are actually kind of interesting in that way. But Pigskin is so crazy. It's like in your face. A lot of people, not just me, the next commercial was like the Duncan Fibonacci commercial. A lot of people were creeped out by this. I thought it was just me, like that I noticed it, but I started to see it as a thing on TikTok. The Backstreet Boys blue screen commercial, instead of the Coinbase being a commercial, it was just a blue screen and they sang some Backstreet Boys song and then it was Coinbase, but it was just a blue screen the whole time. So I'm like, blue for Jew, because they already programmed me exactly like they should have. So the halftime show starts and like Bad Bunny walks through like the harvest, which is interesting. Also, it's like walking,
which were
Alice.
People, by the way, those were people that were being harvested, literally, right?
Literally running bushes. So when he goes by the first table, there's two girls sitting there and they're playing dominoes and they have a pink pyramid on the table. And so there's pyramid symbolism, but it's also a pink triangle, which was like the gays and Nazi. Like they all got the pink triangle. So I thought it's interesting that Ricky Martin comes up later on. All the sugar cane. And then I wondered this. This might be for anyone else that geeked out on it harder. When he came out, he falls through the rabbit hole in the roof. He goes into the other world of the apartment. So now you're inside Wonderland. And then he comes out onto the porch and Jules follows some girl named Alex Earl that I guess is really popular. She's like, that's Alex Earl on stage. And I could only pay attention where I was like, is that Chrissy Teigen? I kept swearing Chrissy Teigen was one of the women on the stage. And then we were like, is that Cardi B on stage? So on stage, there might have been some other famous people, if anybody notices it, or on the porch or whatever. Then the like frog, which is Konjo, I think. Kojo is like Bad Bunny's frog, comes up on the screen. And Lady Gaga comes out with her red shoes on, but she also has her blue dress. So she's giving us our like light Disney princess thing going on. And then it's Conjo, which is Spanish for rabbit. So he goes over to the freaking little window and grabs a drink at the rabbit juice. So it's Conjo juice. So it means rabbit juice. So he takes adrenochrome, drink, and then he's strong. Like he does this immediately afterwards. Gosh. So I was like, oh my gosh, I hope there's like, because I was just thinking about you guys watching the show. And I also know it's Spanish and he's Bad Bunny. I get it. Like I know all the things it could be easily as well. Ricky Martin performing. He also performed on 9/10 in front of the Twin Towers. So in a big checkerboard thing in 9/10/2001. So it was like a specific day. They use Ricky Martin a lot because he's Menudo. The power outage and the power lines and then into the monkey symbolism, I thought was like, oh, this is like hella interesting. They're like power out, but also this like they keep egging us on with this monkey symbolism. It doesn't matter if it's coming from Obama. It doesn't matter if it actually is Obama with a monkey god in his pocket. Apple Music, Lady Gaga, Reggie. Okay, that's it. That was where I was like, oh, I can't do this anymore. So I don't even know what he's saying.
Maybe for any of our audience that doesn't know about the rabbit juice of it all, do you want to like get into the whole origins of adrenochrome there, Paranoid American?
I mean, we just want to get this one taken down immediately.
We've already.
I might play Joe Rogan. I might play a little of Joe Rogan's episodes today. So, I mean, we might get in trouble. Maybe I'll play Nicki at the end. No, I'm just kidding. Maybe that's how I close out with Nicki Minaj song. And
it is interesting because we only know about adrenochrome because of experiments on rabbits' blood. Specifically, it was like 1930s, and they were basically just dissecting rabbits because rabbits are really easy for medical research because you can just keep breeding them over and over and over again. They have like huge litters, right? So rabbits became like the de facto thing that you would do experiments on. And one of the things they were doing was they severed like a ventricle and a heart or something, but they were doing experiments on the adrenal glands, and they noticed that adrenaline in its liquid form is completely clear, and the second that it hit air, it would start to change color. And then even more specifically, it was silver iodide, I believe. When you introduce silver iodide to adrenaline, it immediately oxidizes and it turns into a light pink, and then it starts to turn red, and then it starts to turn dark red, and then it eventually turns like a dark purple and then a brown. But that specific activity of turning it from clear into red is why it's called adrenochrome, because that means color of the adrenals, meaning that it went from clear to a color, and that's why it's called adrenochrome. But coincidentally, it was done on rabbits. That's where they found it, and all of the original adrenochrome research on adrenaline turning into adrenochrome was also done on rabbits. So that's just an interesting coincidence. And then this thing is called a skeleton formula, and technically, I believe that the relationship between rabbits and adrenochrome predates skeleton formulas even existing in this form. But this version of skeleton formula, if you turn it to the left, then people say that it looks like a little bunny rabbit. You got like the two ears on the top and the little legs on the bottom, essentially.
Well, looks like it's
That's
even turned on
creative,
its
kind of
side.
have that look to it. But this, it's funny because this image will be like, oh my God, I can see it. There, that's proof of the connection. It's like, no, the connection is way more direct than that. It
Yeah.
literally came from rabbit blood research and how they found adrenochrome to begin with.
And this is like one of my favorite things about you is because most of the conspiracy you got into, you were just going to use the word once, but you didn't want to just use it flippantly. So you looked like you were like, what's this? If I'm going to use this, let me look into it.
Oh, I just want to know what it did, right? So I was going to write a short story about kids that ordered adrenochrome on the dark web because I figured that's something that you could do. I've heard stories about it. And I was like, all right, let's say it comes and it's in the mail. And like, now what? Do I snort it? Do I smoke it? Do you inject? I assume you would inject it, but that's actually not how adrenochrome was originally done either. It was done sublingually. They just put it under their tongue,
Oh, wow.
like a little liquid of it, and that was it. It was very like non-intrusive, and I was like, man, that's way more approachable than I thought. Like I don't like needles, so I didn't think I'd ever actually entertain the idea of possibly trying adrenochrome. But if you tell me that I could just put it under my tongue for a few minutes
Yeah.
and then start tripping out, like I might be open to that.
That's
I mean, who
In-
here hasn't done acid?
well, and sometimes we get like out there with conspiracies, but the more that you looked into it, it's not something you're like, oh yeah, this is what they're up to. You're not like,
Originally, every single report that I found said that it wasn't real, that it didn't actually have any sort of psychedelic properties. There was one guy from Spain that wrote a book that he did like every drug known to man, and he kept this record of it and all the effects. But the problem was that when I actually went and bought this book and I read the whole damn thing, it was horrible. It was a horrible experience. But when he said he was doing adrenochrome, he was also doing like cocaine and heroin and meth like at the same time. So there was no control here. He was just doing every drug that he could get his hands on and then trying to write what it did to him. There's another book from the 70s called Legal Highs, which coincidentally, because it lists every legal drug alphabetically, adrenochrome is the very first drug in this book. And even in this book, it mentions that most of the adrenochrome people find is like a stable version, which is not psychedelic. And I think it notes like they didn't try the psychedelic version because you couldn't get your hands on it. So I started rewinding all that research back, and that's when I found out about the Scottish Rite early 1930s, 1950s research. And then it was like, here's scientists that were like, oh my God, this was intense. This is incredible. It's a drug that comes from, at the time they said blood, but it was not necessarily blood. It's wild because the origin story is so much more true. And then once you start going into the Aroid trip reports and like people that you go to trust for psychedelic reports, they're like, oh no, it's all a bunch of BS. Like none of this is true. So where is it? Like, where does the truth lie? That were the original researchers for the first 20 years just making up the fact that this was an incredibly intense psychedelic? Or is it everyone afterwards that's been right about it? You know what I mean?
just in this moment, Also, I don't want to fast forward so much, so feel free to fill in whatever in between. But if schizophrenics have higher adrenochrome in their body, and then a whole bunch of other people are doing research that schizophrenics are possessed and it's actually a demon, and the whole thing of why they wanted to take this was so they could talk to God, then they are demons actually wanting to talk to other demons and through like some kind of blood portal or adrenaline portal. Is this a crazy?
No, because what trips me out is if you go into the origins of, Interview with the Vampire with Anne Rice of it all. Essentially, it's Osiris and Isis sits and talks to this spirit, and it's not a ghost. It's just this disembodied spirit. And when Osiris gets torn apart by his brother and cut up in all these pieces and stuff, she's cut up too because she's trying to save him. So in the process, the spirit enters her blood because it would like fly by people and like prick their skin and like drink little droplets of their blood. Well, it enters her body, and when it enters her body, she's putting his pieces back together, but she's like it makes her so thirsty for the blood because the spirit has like become one with her body. So she starts drinking his blood, and then she's giving it back to him, and in the process it puts all his pieces back together except his penis or whatever. Well, I think his penis is there, but her vampires don't get hard-ons. So anyway, it's just weird to talk about it like that because it's
never even thought about
a demonic
the dead
spirit that starts vampirism in the first place. And if we want to get into the whole Anne Rice is actually real and the Interview with the Vampire story is actually real.
Did Anne Rice ever claim it was real? She always claimed it was.
Well, no, right? But if you look at the whole story, like the guy who plays Daniel or whatever, that's doing the interview of Louis, that is Anne Rice.
Christian Slater's character.
Yeah,
if you guys have seen the movie, that's her interviewing a vampire, but she needed to make it so far off of her. But I think it's real information she was relayed. It's too much.
And it's so good. Like, it's so integrated with mythology, history, all of it. It's insanity. When you actually go through and read the books and stuff, it's I found it hard to disbelieve.
And I just think there's something to the idea that eating youth or taking youth somehow keeps you young. I mean, we do it to every animal. They're like, let's cut the tusk off that hard-horned animal because I need a hard horn.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. we do these very simpleton, like, that shark strong, it make me strong. But I mean, it's true probably in ways, but that's why I think they tried to normalize that weird plastic looking homie that I felt like every Netflix documentary tried to keep convincing me that he looked young, but really he was just injecting his 18-year-old son's blood into himself, but he didn't look young. He looked like shit. So I don't know what that was a weird psyop, but I think it was kind of like getting us comfortable because the next year they let us know all the elites were like reoxygenating their own blood and putting it back in themselves younger. So they were like, it's not their kids, don't worry. It's their own blood. Like they're trying so hard.
On because I also feel like this is a gateway drug, is like the placenta eating, that if you eat it, like some people will eat a placenta after a birth and claim that it gives you all sorts of like nutrients and that it like benefits. But isn't that kind of like a slippery slope to eating actual human body parts?
Well, what the slippery slope is that like everyone thinks that it's like great, and I'm not saying that it's not, but the placenta itself is so concentrated in hormones, like it's that in the wrong dosage, you can actually make yourself pretty damn sick and fuck your own hormones. So it's not something to be like, take, like a lot of women will get encapsulated so they can just, pop a couple capsules here and there. But, Yeah, you have to be careful with how much.
I'm not even
you
trying to be an
consume.
asshole. They have peptides that'll just. This is why I think part of the Michael Jackson thing or part of what we've seen on the world stage is not necessarily the thing, because we're finding out, and it's not a new thing for bodybuilders. Like, there's always somebody in the world that knows about a specific niche, and nobody, it's like a conspiracy of this to their niche, and everybody else is like, sure, I can just take a pill and it'll make me black.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
You
can
can.
literally just take a peptide
There
and
is a
it'll
peptide.
make you so black that, like, if we all did it, we wouldn't even be in blackface. We're just, this is our skin.
Melanotan 1 and 2, they're injectables, they're legal. You can take them and they will make you tan without having to tan, or you can go into the sun and it'll make you tan way faster. And if you tend to burn, the only problem is it actually does. That's a peptide that I've done it. It actually burns. That one burns going in, and it
Also,
doesn't
I
feel
hear
good.
your credit
And it'll
score
make your
goes
skin
down.
flush really bad. Like for me, my skin was like red for a while. Huh?
Your credit score goes down.
Yeah, I think your credit score also just goes down coincidentally.
And profiled by police officers.
Yeah, immediately. Oh my gosh. I would, if I did that ever, all of a sudden, I'm telling you guys, I would be just like that lady that ran the NAACP. Like, that would be me.
Rachel Dolezal, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you gonna
like,
perm your hair too?
all of a sudden, it would just be, and I'd be hard in the paint, believe in the LARP. Like, you'd be like, eventually finding out, look at her.
What happens though is someone digs up the yearbook photo and it's like, and here's the black person that you thought you knew.
That's what if you see how much this does, and this is what they're giving us now, and we think bare minimum 30 years, maximum 100 years, maximum 6,000 years technological advancement on us. So it's just like, who knows what they're up to? Some of the things I want to be like, that's crazy. That's crazy. But then the deeper you kind of look into the Epstein files and you get past a layer of this is the other vampirism and whatever else is going on with all the things in the DNA that they're studying, is they're such hardcore eugenicists and they're up to something so next level nefarious. Like, in almost okay, if these people believe they're gods, some people think they're Zeus. Like,
Yeah.
some people don't just think they're just some run-of-the-mill demon drinking adrenochrome in a crazy bin like 12 Monkeys, which another time travel movie that needs to be put on everyone's
Which
thing.
one?
But I think
12
that
Monkeys.
it's interesting too, because if the more you look into adrenochrome, it goes into the origin of schizophrenia research, and schizophrenia research immediately leads to eugenics, because the conclusion was that there's no way to get rid of schizophrenia. There's no cure for it. Once it shows up in your family, the only way to get rid of schizophrenia is to prevent it from ever existing in the first place. Hence, it turns into eugenics. So, like, they are directly related, those two things. But I think that the hardcore eugenicists probably see themselves as even higher than gods, because even the gods traditionally, they could meddle in human affairs, but they couldn't necessarily control the types of humans that were being born. They could create havoc for them, but they didn't have that kind of direct control. Eugenicists have that kind of control. Eugenicists can be like, we're just going to breed this certain
Before you're
family
born,
line
yeah.
completely off the face of the planet. And the gods never really had the same level of control as a eugenicist would.
It's kind of, this is what is making me think, like, I used to just think, oh, the elites possessed by demons. And then I was like, oh, the elites are like hereditary and they're like inviting these lowercase deities into themselves, which could be demons, but some of them might have name and lore throughout time and they actually think they're this. Now I really believe they have titans in themselves. Because
Yeah.
Ben Balderson always, shout out to Ben, all hail Ben Balderson. He always talks
Balder.
about in his heathenism that he believes it's time where the old gods arise. But it won't be in a way of like they come back like Hillary Clinton and Gilgamesh. It'll be in a way that like somebody in the audience gets superpowers, like, or these superpowers are kind of dormant laying in these people. Like they're just waiting to bubble up. And so I've always kind of thought like these people, these evil deities, they think they're gods and they hate us. But now I think they think they're titans and like they hate
the gods.
Yeah. And then when you look into it of like the jinn versus humanity, it feels very similar. Like it feels like they hate us because they ain't us. If something above them ever told them to bow to us, they were like, I'm never bowing to them. They're disgusting. And so it gives that same kind of lure of like whatever separates them from us, whatever kind of rituals they go through. And I think it is that. Everything has a carrot in front of it. A job, a payoff, a bill, or whatever. Everything starts out as maybe like, I really want to save the world. And they have this carrot. I don't think getting somebody wasted, putting a drug in somebody's drink, some of the situations that I think sometimes the first blackmail happens for people might really be fucked up. And they might be actually such a good person that they're like on the couch totally passed out on G. And then all of a sudden some girls S in their D and they're like, I'm going to send this to your wife. And they're like, please don't ruin my life. I'll do anything. Please don't ruin my life. Please don't show my wife. Some of the stuff I feel like to start getting blackmail with people is easy. But then some people like Bill Gates and Bill Clinton and whoever that's like taking trips on the reg. Let's say some guy got blackmail on you and he's like, Abbie, I got this blackmail on you. I have cameras in every inch of every statue in this place. We know everything about you. And I'm going to show someone. And you're like, you know what I need? 23 more trips to that island.
Yeah, right. Because I imagine there's some people that they hear that. They're like, hey, we got to let you know, Bill, we've got you on camera when you were here last weekend. And you're like, so we're still on for this weekend, right?
Let's do it again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Party
And
on, Wayne.
Part of it, because of like the Dionysus of it all, in the orgy of it all, and the fertility festivals of it all, I got to think, and I don't want to, this is where I'm a little fairy tale. I know people get horny. I know there's sick people out there, but the levels of depravity of like, I need to get back to the island. I need to, or Zorro Ranch, or hang out with Peter Nygaard, or go hang out on Virgin Airlines allegedly. Or, you know what? Just go help the Clintons. Save Haiti. Like this kind of thing. Like to crave this kind of thing and then be friends. Like you watch rock bands. You watch The Dirt. You watch stories of Motley Crue or some shit. These guys don't even do heroin in the same room with their bandmates. But these guys are like, you know what we should do? We should like do crazy orgies and do the worst things we've ever done ever in front of each other. And I just got to think too, in the eyes wide shut of it all, not everyone has to show their face, but some people face for the world. Like some people, Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. It's this dark. What do you think about the eyes wide shut of it all to it, Thomas?
Or maybe Face Off would be another appropriate movie reference.
Oh.
Yeah, but even that, I'm like, they probably just gave us that and they were mocking us the whole time. Like, they were like, ha ha ha, look at them. They love Face Off. Nick Cage. It probably really happened. Nick Cage probably is John Travolta.
Speaking of John Travolta and his whole, like, staying alive walk with pizza and Pizzagate, or Pizza Parlor and his red shoes.
Oh, yeah, that was another commercial in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Staying alive.
I kind of hate how they've ruined pizza.
I know. If I see pizza in your profile, I'm like, And I actually saw one that I know was innocent. Like this guy said, maybe was this on a dating app? Maybe because I was only on there for 3 days. But it said something along the lines of like, pineapple belongs on pizza. Don't convince me otherwise. But I saw pizza and I was like, oh no. And then I was like, oh, that's actually a valid
Now you get the
conversation
ick if
starter.
someone's like, interest pizza. You're like, not today, Satan.
Yeah.
I always just think it's
Fucking
weird
butter.
regardless of what you want to put on your pizza. But for some reason, the pineapple on pizza, people feel Antifa to me like, all right, get your sign out of my face. I'm just trying to go into Whole Foods. Like, they're so uptight about the pineapple and they eat it. Cool. Eat it. Do you. Come out of the closet.
I do like pineapple on pizza, though. I gotta say it.
Do it.
Pineapple
It's
on pepperoni.
2026. People call them, they are outwardly saying, I have schizophrenia. Please call me them, they. Like, this is the world we're in. You can like pineapple on pizza. But that's actually probably some whole other reference to swinging.
I know. That's so now we're adding swinging to pizza. The fuck.
No, this is really what
The
I
levels
think with the
upon
pizza.
levels of this.
You can put pizza in things, but don't put a child next to it duct taped.
Right.
Like Comet Ping Pong, back to James Elefantis, where all this started. It's like the Podesta art and the Comet Ping Pong and all that. And then you look up the art on the walls. And then you look up the Podesta art and it's a lot of the same artists. And then you start going down the rabbit hole of all the artists. And you start seeing all their art is about cannibalism, pedophilia, dressing like rabbits. One of the ladies actually has a split personality. I want to say her name's Kim Noble. I could probably look up her art right now since I have...
There's some of it, like the most simple ones are the creepiest ones to me. There's the one with like the kids in the pool, like all lined up. There's a whole bunch of iterations of that. But there's an even creepier one where all the paintings just have like brush strokes as the people, but there's always these like big black and red huge things, like huge human figures, and these little tiny ones, but it's like the little tiny ones are like on a bed or they're in a corner, and like there's nothing necessarily these ones are probably the creepiest of all of them. That top left one where they're in like a bed and there's like one hunched over. That, in my opinion, this is probably like one of the creepiest and most direct ones. Look at that little baby in the corner. This one is insane.
And a thing about, I believe it's this artist, I'm 80% sure, but feel free to do some checking. She actually is schizophrenic. She has split personalities, and her split personalities that have, and the elite do this. You guys can look into this as well. The elite torture people to split their personalities. Their goal is, if they can have you as an adult and find your most child alter, that is a good goal for them. It's like a control mechanism. But I also believe the elite think in a way like Split. They think in a way that some version of you is the mom that can lift the car off her kids. And they want to control that too. They want to control the monster, and they want to watch the monster and film the monster, and then they also want to do this weird crazy kind of stuff to you.
Well, also somewhat, and I'm going to get some of this wrong, so I apologize in advance, Ben Balderson, but like the same way that Balderson would go through a bunch of phenotypes and try and breed like the perfect blend of this plant and get all these different qualities, that's also sort of the way that I understand the eugenics and the schizophrenia aspect of this, is that they're just trying to create like the ultimate schizophrenic clone that has all these very specific traits so that they can send them directly into an altar and bring them back out, and send them into a different altar and bring them back out, because that's incredibly useful. If you can compartmentalize a human being and make them kind of like Jason, like imagine like an occult version of Jason Bourne, like that's legitimate. Like the Jason Bourne archetype is exactly what the elite are trying to breed and produce for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
This is
Can we get her on the show? She's not that big.
I know, it's kind of crazy.
And what's wild too is that like she says that this is based on some horrific things that she's seen or gone through, and then the elites are just like, yeah, it would be so funny if we started collecting her art, wouldn't it be funny if like we just put her on the main stage and we don't even care. Like they don't even have to hide it. We'll put it up on a wall and we'll have our picture taken next to it, and we'll put that picture in a magazine along with James Elefantis that's naming us as all of like these hoity-toity important shakers and movers of DC, right? And like we'll just do all this out in the open because what can anyone do about it? They can't do anything.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Another lady that I want to, just because I remembered her name, and I don't know, I feel like it's Eloise Bourgeois. No, that's not it. It's
Louise
close.
Bourgeoisie.
Thank you.
Bourgeois. How
Bourgeois.
I said it all Southern. Bordeaux. But this is the other lady that I believe all her art, she's the one that I'll show you, where everybody calls it the Dahmer pose. But it's actually Hysteria, which is chilling, the name Hysteria. And this is, you think you don't know this, but, and all her shit looks Stranger Things AF. This is Hysteria. So that's the one they always say that Jeffrey Dahmer posed his victim like, but he was mimicking this. This art is not mimicking his pose.
And this sculpture was based on slightly older medieval drawings because it's an actual pose that the body will go into when you're going through an epileptic fit, brought on by who knows what, but like the body will find itself into this exact position over and over again, on like all these old medical drawings. So that's what she based it on. And it's like this motif of here's what happens to the human body when it goes through incredible amounts of stress or pain or grief. And let's turn this into artwork and put it in the middle of the room and have our pictures taken next to it. And all of her other artwork also has some very strong cannibalistic sort of ties to it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that she has a whole rung of pigs, but this is all spider heavy artwork right now. Everyone,
her most famous one were the spiders because they put them in Paris, they put them in downtown New York City, they put them all over the world for I think like early 2000s it was.
I just know everybody is always like, Marina Abramovich, spirit cooking. Marina Abramovich, spirit cooking. And I'm like, take every single artist that Podesta had. And it's easy to find this stuff. You can go on any shitty search engine and you can just put in Podesta art. And now because of the brilliance, you can actually zoom in on the art and put it in and find out the artist and then start researching all these people's art. All of them were abused.
Also, the Louise Bourgeois, interesting note about her husband that ran the Michael C. Rockefeller wing of the Museum of Modern Art, and Michael C. Rockefeller is the guy that got eaten by the cannibals. So it's just like another like oh what an interesting coincidence that she just happened to be married to the guy that ran the cannibal dedicated wing of this art museum.
Oh, thank you. You're so bomb. Arch of Hysteria. It's so creepy. That's what I would call it if I, like when King Charles dies, I would say Operation Arch of Hysteria.
Oh, Arch of Hysteria, though. Hysteria, the treatment used to be giving a woman an orgasm. So is that the Arch of an orgasm?
Yeah, that's what I always like.
Oh, yeah.
Tis goals.
Yeah. Goals.
You know how when Queen Elizabeth was dying, it was like Operation London Bridge Fallen or something. Do you guys know this? Like,
I haven't heard that, no.
It was said that dying operation code name. It was said that when Queen Elizabeth was dying, or any time for any royal, they have like a bridge name and it's called Operation whatever the bridge name. And then there's a whole protocol of who gets to know first, who gets to know what order the press gets told, when the Jubilee start, whatever, not the Jubilee, when the procession, because she has to lay in wake for 10 days. Like there's like a whole ritual that has to go on when a royal dies. So it's like an order. And so when when King Charles, it's Operation Menai Bridge. And when I was looking this up, there's a Menai Bridge, British, it's whatever. But there's also one in Australia. And I thought it was so interesting because that's when Prince Charles had the assassination attempt on him, was in Australia. So I was like, I wonder if it's like paying homage to the, like, I feel like that was like, it was a threat. Do you guys remember that? It's forever ago, but I know we're all in conspiracy. So many of the videos come back around.
I'm paranoid American, not paranoid,
British
Euro
cuck.
trash. So
Prince Charles. Because Prince Andrew has been in the news this week too. So, and it's like Prince William is so surprised at the allegations, and I just keep putting Jimmy Savile. Like, really surprised would be a crazy word to pick.
Seriously. This has been a known thing for how long?
And there's just no way that family didn't have all sorts of gossip where everyone knew who like the creepy uncle was. Like,
Everyone knows who the funny uncle is. Come
right.
on.
Everybody, he just kind of joke about it, but
You need to get with him.
Let me turn this shit down as fuck. All right, let's watch this. This Rothschild, which too, when you look at Prince Charles and you look at William, they look just like Rothschilds to me. I'm like, maybe I'm crazy. I need a side by side, but okay.
Well, isn't James Alefantis a Rothschild too? He is.
Remember.
No, he is.
Prince Charles was about to address Sydney school children when shots rang out. His personal detective moved swiftly to get the prince out of the way. The attacker was wrestled to the ground, having dashed from the front of the crowd, firing a starting pistol as he closed in. Other guests asked a slightly bemused Prince of Wales if he was unscathed.
He was like, yes, I'm bloody fine. Bloody fine.
He looked completely unfazed.
He looked like he looked disgusted.
Is that one of those poor bullets?
I know. Is that a starting pistol? I could tell. But yeah. Prince Charles, he's definitely one of the vampires. Isn't it said that they're related to Vlad the Impaler? And
important to always point out too that they're German, right? What is it, Saxe-Gothberg or something?
Mm-hmm. Saxe-Gothberg family.
I didn't get that right. It's something like that though.
No, I feel like that was so close.
Close
Berg.
enough.
Anytime I hear a Berg when somebody says they're from Germany, I'm like, oh, curious lineage. Oh, hey, look at this little sweet, sexy thing. Oh, yeah. Shout out to Layla tonight, you guys. Layla is out for Valentine's Day with her sis and friends. So she sends all the love in the world.
Wearing
and probably
running around.
Probably just us bringing it up. Here, wait, Abbie, let me do it right.
I gotta do it again?
She'll probably pop in chat and say hi and she loves you or something. But we miss Layla too. She's just out doing her weird Valentine's Day rituals for the Knights of the Templar. You know Layla. She's out doing her Hadith dance. Just kidding. She texts now like, Chaney, you motherfucker. You motherfucker. So anyways, you guys are so rad. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much. It's super sweet. Yeah, I think the Epstein files, though, are definitely tipping into Pizzagate. And I implore everyone just out of boredom, pick somebody different. Pick somebody weird on the list. Start, like, whatever your celebrity is, whatever sports star, comedian, opera singer, artist, just put it in the files and look. Like, when I put in Chelsea Handler, I was like, dang, I didn't even read through any of them, just how many times her name is in there. And I'm not accusing Chelsea Handler of anything, even though her last name is hella curious.
I also highly, highly recommend, if you haven't looked at it yet, jmail.world. which takes all of the Epstein files and it formats them like it's a Gmail inbox, and you can just read through it the same way that eventually, like essentially the actual Epstein files were. It was just a bunch of different email messages. So you can kind of go through it like it's an email. And there's also, I think, JPedia or something that has like all of the different people brought up in it. There's an entire Wikipedia where everyone gets their own page. Yeah, this one is the Jmail.
It's so interesting, and because people are so schlick, they figured out so many ways of getting some of the unredacted stuff out of the emails. Just a reminder to everybody. Some of it actually is CP, and you don't want it on your devices at all. And that's why it's redacted, because I do know some of the weird stuff people have been able to get into, and some of it you definitely just don't want. And you don't even know what stuff if you see that you're pinged somewhere.
That's what's crazy too, is that now anyone that gets the actual Epstein files, now the FBI can come after you and put you away for just having the Epstein files.
That's the other thing too. I was wondering, because apparently they're giving Congress the unredacted Epstein files for like a few days.
They're all going to jail now. Yeah.
I just am like, would you, after everything that's been on with this thing, and I mean, just the Clinton body count alone, but nobody's even ever looked into an Epstein body count. No one's ever even looked into, does everybody play ball? Every single person plays ball? Like, I don't know. Is Kate Spade in there? Is David Spade in there? I don't know. Is Robin Williams in there? Do they call him Mrs. Doubtfire? I do think it's funny that you can't put in, everybody's like, Biden's not in it. Well, you didn't spell his name with Bidan. And so it's just like, oh, some of this stuff is all...
For the big guy. You got to search for big guy.
Yeah, you got to like, all the nicknames that were used, you almost wonder if like Boring Jeb is written in the files. You almost wonder if Thirsty Marco is written in the files. You start to wonder these certain taglines that like on 9/17/2016, Hillary Clinton went from being crooked Hillary to beautiful Hillary. That's a curious thing.
It would be hilarious to find out that all of Trump's best nicknames all really came from Epstein. Like that, like Epstein's the one that called him, Thirsty Marco or whatever.
Let's see. Off subject, but for PA, if he has ever seen the movie I Come in Peace, Dark Angel, as it has two names, but it's an adrenochrome movie with Dolph Lundgren, or a movie which uses adrenochrome.
I remember this came up in one of the threads. I haven't seen this yet. I'll have to watch this one. But someone's brought it up, so I'm familiar that it exists. I haven't seen it yet.
Do you find that part of it with some of these movies is like, it's kind of getting unreal? Like Hollywood isn't even, it's like, I don't know, there's like conspiracy cartoons now, and there's like mockings of it, and Saturday Night Live is like, ooh, we're witches that drink blood, and blah, blah, blah. Like they mock these things, or you can go through all of Saturday Night Live skits, and there's like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson talking about sacrificing children, and Rita Wilson talking about sacrificing children on Bosom Buddies.
I mean,
and
it goes back at least 6,000 years, so it doesn't surprise me, that 20 years ago people were still talking about it.
Joe versus the volcano. I feel like Tom Hanks is getting close to the timeline. Oh my gosh, you guys. And I don't know if I said it here, so please stop me if I'm redundant, because sometimes I'm like, I don't know if I just text you guys this or... So in my Flat Earth Pizzagate spell, Sarah Palin followed me, you guys. Like, I told you last week at the end of the show that I was like...
I can't believe that.
We need that time stamped in the last show.
Yeah, like, I could probably pull it up, the picture somewhere. So I've been like... Hey, dummies, like on her post, you guys, I am like Sarah Palin's lapdog. Like whatever Sarah says, I'm like, this is the best thing you heard today. You should thumbs up it, whatever. This is me on Sarah Palin's. You know, like I did my work to get the follow. But also the reason she followed me right after the post, and one of the posts I did to her was, hey, dummies, you can see Russia from Alaska, which that's my flat earth in, you guys. That's the seed. But the reason she followed me is because she put all this shit up about the Epstein files. And I wrote, hey, Sarah, why don't you just say Pizzagate, take the air out of the room and the Monday news cycle? So now I'm like playing into her pageant girl. Because if Sarah Palin says Pizzagate, New York Post is going to talk about it. New York Times is going to talk about it. Like, crazy Sarah Palin says Pizzagate. Crazy Sarah Palin who took care of all her kids. Crazy Sarah. When in reality, John McCain was the shaming ritual. I don't care. I'll debate anyone about it. He's an American he's a traitor. He was a traitor and his father was a traitor. I think it was the USS Liberty that his father.
Period.
USS Liberty? Was it the USS Liberty? Thomas, is that the one that got blown up by Israel? Allegedly. That'll be the thing. YouTube down.
I don't know. I'll look it up.
Somebody in the chat will say it. But I think that's the one his dad was involved in, and then John McCain was involved in the USS Forrestal. I think those are the two ships that were blown up under McCain's, amongst other things. But, yeah, I'm almost sure. And I feel like something happened with the USS Cole that had nothing to do with the McCains, but I don't know why that warship kept being in my brain.
So it was the Liberty, but according to Rockefeller Media, it says that Admiral John McCain was involved in the aftermath, but the Navy concluded it was a case of mistaken identity.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you brought up involved in the aftermath, you guys. This is something that haunts me year after year after year, and we just have to talk about it right now. And just be like, can somebody do some research on this motherfucker? So... One forensic pathologist did these cases, and I'd like to go through them with you. So, John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., Robert F. Kennedy, Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, Attica Prison Uprising, John Belushi, Sid Vicious, Nancy Spungen, William Holden, Nicole Brown Simpson, Ron Goldman, O.J. Simpson, Claus Von Bulow, William Kennedy Smith, Louis Woodward, Phil Spector, Lena Clarkston, Aaron Hernandez, Jeffrey Epstein, George Floyd, Eric Garner, Michael Brown, Ivana Trump, blah, 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 Anna Nicole Smith, Prince, Lacey Peterson. This dude has done all of those forensic science. Do you believe any of those deaths as they've been told to you?
No, because that's insane. It should be whoever like lives in that jurisdiction doing it, right?
And I would also say these deaths were huge in pushing social narrative to everything that we're kind of at now. It's like these weird helter-skelter pushes of narrative. Like Bobby Kennedy, like they all had to die in these certain ways. So unless this guy is the guy that's in charge of, okay, if you're going to fake a death, you got to get Michael Baden to come in and say that you're dead. Or he's just CIA. And somebody put, well, he could just be the top of his field. And I'm like, do you believe the Kennedy assassination? Let's just start with that one. Like, do you believe anything about a magic bullet or anything about the way that they say that it happened? So it's just like, and then go down the list. And they all get fishier and fishier the longer that time's gone on. Even the O.J. Simpson thing. I'm like, and then it just happened to like all of America was just captive. Everybody, we all grew up and had to sit and watch this fucking thing on TV for how much of our childhood? Unbelievable. I watched more O.J. Simpson for those youngins. If you're old enough to remember O.J. O.J. played more than any 9/11 footage after 9/11. Like, we were inundated with OJ trial every single day from beginning to end. I don't even think we ever saw a 9/11 trial.
Talking about medical examiners that are sort of on the take, right? I feel like this is one of the more important roles that you could have someone compromised in, is a medical examiner, because they could legitimately cover up a murder and make it so it never even goes. This be like, oh, this was natural cause, or it was self-inflicted, or whatever. There's another guy in the whole literal Clinton body count of it all, that if you've ever heard of the story of Don Henry and Kevin Ives, which were the two kids that died in Mena, Arkansas, as part of the Iran-Contra, where they were dropping bales of cocaine in Arkansas. It was Barry Seal for the CIA to raise money and all this other stuff, but that these two kids accidentally came across one of these drops and get murdered because of it. And the medical examiner, his name was literally Moloch, which I thought was kind of crazy. I had to stop and rewatch it a few times. The guy's name was Moloch. And Moloch, this medical examiner, he basically said they had just laid down on the train tracks and were decimated by the trains running over them. But it came out that one of them was stabbed in the back a bunch of times. They both had been beaten. So it was clearly not a case that he had described. And if you start going back through Moloch's history of other things that he had claimed, that this guy was one of them was someone was decapitated, and he said that they died from an ulcer, but the guy was literally missing his head when he came in. So again, it's just a perfect example of how this particular role in society, being a state medical examiner on the take, once you've got one in your pocket, hell yeah, you're going to fly him around and have him do all the celebrity deaths and all the political deaths because he's on the take. But whatever he says goes, and it'll hold up in a court of law, and it'll hold up when, the Daily Beast or CNN wants to be like, that's a conspiracy and it's been debunked. They're citing the guy that said someone missing their head died of a stomach ulcer. That's their debunking.
Do you think doesn't judge in general seem like way too much power for one idiot that could believe in WWE wrestling? And this is real stuff where a judge is you're not going to tell me. When they were trying to get UFC in New York, one of the judges is you're not going to tell me wrestling's fake. I've been watching it 22 years or some shit like that, where they're the lawyer doesn't even know where to go from there. What do you say next? So it's just there's I don't know. There's a lot of it matters what county you're in. There's still so much power in little places that it really does matter that this certain structure exists. But I don't think I'd ever go in front of a judge. I think I'd always pick a jury of my peers.
Yeah, a jury seems such a
having
better,
one of these motherfuckers be
better
human.
odds. Yeah.
Yeah, judge. 7-7. Giants versus the Broncos.
The same day all the money went missing from the Pentagon.
The Giants, you mean Nephilim?
That's what I was thinking. I think all their names are super telling. I don't think they go with any of the names for no reason. Even the Seahawks.
The Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, the Titans are another giant football. And I understand that you'd want to go with a big thing. They tried to name the football team the Miami Sharks. And they were no, let's go with Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are kind of as far as tough, scary things go in the NFL, they're not as scary. You're oh, and their colors are kind of peachy.
Unless alien, or, they're alien.
I agree. Heart of Aries. It's nerve wracking, but then it's let's say you have 12 jurors. I hope if one can just get the jury to
You just have to have one smart one on there.
Yeah, you just have to have one to believe you. I want to take my chance with one of them over some Southern judge that just is pissed at lesbians.
Yeah. Oh God. That's scary.
Like, this dyke, she'll love jail. It'll be a vacation for her.
That looks like my ex-wife. She's going down.
She's going down. That looks like my mother-in-law with that haircut. Done.
The last time I had jury duty, the case, it was like it was the dumbest case ever, but it was like some 18-year-old kid on his birthday got caught smoking a joint, and when the cops showed, because I guess everyone was like outside his apartment complex, had a bunch of friends over, cops came, he took the joint and he put it like on his hat or like his head, and he put his hat on and kind of like try to hide it, and they found it, so they were trying to get him on like obstruction of justice for hiding evidence or whatever and lying about it. And they were going to pop him for just having, this was before it was medical or anything. They were trying to pop him on this, and they actually picked me. And the whole time I'm like, hell yeah. I'm like, I'm going to just straight up like nullify this jury. I'm just be like, I refuse to enforce any of this. I was just going to make it, have them like go back to it, hopefully let the kid get off. And when it goes time to actually put all of the like put the jury together, they let me know I was the alternate, and they were like, you could just go home if you want. And I was just like, all right, I just went home.
Damn it.
I only got called one time, and it was to a grand jury. And it was in a town that after the Mar-a-Lago raid, it was like this whole huge thing that's where Trump was going to be in trial. And then it got canceled, and my jury summons got canceled. And it might have not been the one, but I thought, how am I going to fake this? I just feel like my avatar alone, they're like, she's on the jury. And I'm going to be like, little did you know.
I had
so funny.
federal jury duty one time, and it was a case that was like, there was that Justin Timberlake movie where they have a drug deal gone bad and they kidnap the guy, and that's essentially like the jury that I was on. I was on a jury for a case just like that where they crossed state lines, so I made it federal.
Maybe it's a federal jury too. I can't remember, but it was higher up than my normal. I had to go to a different courthouse than my
and it doesn't
county.
exempt you from your local jury duty either. You're like, I'm supposed to be exempt for 2 years, bitch. And like, no, federal.
No, it's
is
a different one.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Jury duty. That's a whole weird thing. But it's like if somebody's innocent or some things, it's like, they're like, it's a sin. You're not allowed to judge anyone. Come be on our jury. That's a weird
I
thing.
hated it because I felt like the punishment doesn't always fit the crime necessarily, because especially in that case, like the person who has freaking did the shitty drug deal got kidnapped. Well, motherfucker, you were doing dirty too. So it's not like you were fucking innocent in all this. He wasn't dead or anything, but I don't know. But I'm sure the other guys got like life. So it does bother me. Like my conscience doesn't like that. So I was one of the most open-minded people there and everything. But when the judge comes in and lays out what the law states word for word, you're like, oh, well, he can't get off for that.
I don't know. I hear that, and I'm just like, I'm the one that is making this decision, not you, Judge. So like, you can say whatever you want, you can tell me how to interpret the law, but in the real world, the jury is straight up making up their own everything, right? They make up their own course of logic. The judge is allowed to tell them, here's what you're supposed to follow, but inside every juror's mind, like they're thinking of every CSI episode they've ever seen. They're going through every law they've ever seen, and they're like applying all of that, right? They all think that they've got like legal expertise, and you can't remove that from a jury.
I feel like it was like John Gotti or something, or one of those mafia people where, like, let's say the court trial was going to start the next day. They finally have all the jury out or whatever, and then like 10 of the 12 members don't show. They're like, sorry, can't do this.
And it's not, and honestly, the John Gotti is a great example of that, because it wasn't necessarily just the Gotti family or John Gotti that's taking these witnesses out, because once John Gotti gets exposed, like that, out of one of many different tentacles, they start investigating like the NBA and like the NBA commissioner, because they start finding that that Gotti was actually like having games rigged so that they can make these $1 million bets and make all this money on it. So that like that's another reason. Like the NBA and the Gotti family are both after you. They both want to take you out. One of them is probably going to have the resources to do it.
I don't know why this made me think of the Gotti family or any mafia family for that matter, but I just thought it was like hella interest, like not hella interesting, more so like, yeah, like this is what's up, I think. And tell me like I'm double vaxxed. What else would you do with, let's see if it comes up here, my little 330 gallons of sulfuric acid.
Oh God, that's creepy as fuck. I guess it's a really good way to get rid of whatever evidence, though.
And then I'm also like, it's always 33. It almost
Yeah.
makes me feel like part of this is like, ha ha ha, Masonic theater is still at play. We'll just add this to the mix.
Fake 655-gallon drums.
6. They're like, what number? But. And
I like how your advertisements are always the little token things. Like no matter.
Yeah, I know.
Always.
Are you awake?
I've heard that for years.
Are you dreaming?
I feel like that is like, yeah, the inception. Like that's your guys's the
Reality
it all
check.
attaches.
You
It's
want to
like
be a lucid
inception.
dreamer. When you see that, check and see if you're dreaming.
I remembered my dream last night.
Did you?
Yeah.
What'd you dream about?
I had to like one of my friends, I don't remember anything. Here's the part I remember. And they were like, hey, like they have their daughter and they were like, go grab the whatever out of the top. I don't remember what it was, but it was like specific top right-hand corner drawer. And it was in this room where like a little kid was sleeping in this room and I didn't want to wake the little kid, but the little kid hadn't seen me in like, let's say a year, maybe half a year. So I was trying to be really quiet. Like I just got into the place that I was and I was going to get this thing out of the room. I remember a fancy dresser. The weird part about it, there was a box TV on the dresser. I don't know why that part sticks out to me so much. Like a box TV was on the dresser? What in the hell? And the little kid woke up and was like so excited and I woke up. And
So were
it was
you
just-
you or were you someone else?
I was me.
Oh,
And I
wow.
felt like I was in a place I knew, and it was like almost the exact same, except for I don't think there was a dresser or a TV in the spot. And where where in this place, it was like not a crib, it was a bed. I don't know. It was weird. Like in the place that I've been before, like probably in real life, like go into the room while they're sleeping and grab that, like you do with like
Yeah.
sneak in, don't wake the kid. But I had to get something out of a drawer. And
Because that's a memory palace. So because that's one of the functions of dreams is a giant memory. Well, it's collective memory palace, but we all have our own little sector. So that's one of probably a memory palace room for you. So the TV might have been something. It might be a memory that you placed in there, even if it wasn't originally there. Whatever you left in the drawer was a memory you're trying to retrieve, probably.
trying to remember it. Yeah. But even the TV, now I keep wondering, well, it was the TV on? Why was it a box TV? What the hell? Like, it's just so weird.
Probably represents something in that era of life. Because that's what, I don't know if you've ever had the random dreams where you're like, it has no plot line, but it's just like a blue bunk bed and a banana on it. And you're like, what the fuck was that even? But in those dreams, I always feel like that's you placing a memory, like storing a memory for the day or whatever.
Like banana bed, I'll remember it later. I write
Yeah.
notes like that to myself, and then I'm
Yeah.
like, what the hell?
It's a memory palace.
It's the exact same.
It just
as-
says $1 million idea, banana bed. And you're just like, oh, where was I at?
Blue banana bed. It's alliterative. No, my daughter was having a freaking full-on seizure in my dream last night. And I was somewhere and they're burning a Britney Spears effigy.
Oh, that
Huh.
I don't know if this was recently, but I saw some article where Britney Spears said she will never perform in the United States again.
I saw that too, and I also saw that Britney Spears sold her like catalog.
Yeah, for a low amount, it was like
$200,000 or $200 million. And the weird part, you guys, I swear, and I probably have it. I have so many hard drives saved. I just have to. And now we're at this point where, if you've been doing this like 14, 15, 16, 17, if you start putting any of that stuff out there, people are venomous for that stuff. They like are so hungry, and everybody's just putting out the same exact news every single day. And so it's like the people that actually are like, okay, you guys, there's layers to this onion. Let's get off the like the top layer. Let's peel it back one. Those are big. I forgot. Oh, Britney Spears. Oh yeah. So she sold her catalog. I swear Michael Jackson owned Britney Spears' catalog. And so it's weird to me that somewhere she's selling it when he already bought it from her. I feel like he owned Britney, NSYNC, Elvis, Mariah Carey, the Beatles. Like he owned 51% of the Sony music catalog. This is not like everybody always like, I knew he owned the Beatles. Cool. That's 1%.
Majority shareholder. That's insane.
It's every reason they'd want him dead. When people are like, who would kill Michael Jackson? I'm like, Michael Jackson was worth more than any Twin Towers.
Absolutely.
Add it all up, add all the stuff, every song that Michael Jackson owned, his catalog alone, billions. Alone. And then it makes me wonder about Prince. I believe that Michael Jackson married Lisa Marie Presley to get Elvis's catalog without having to deal with taxes and buying and all this bullshit. And I also believe Lisa Marie Presley was trapped by Scientology. I think this is a whole nother thing. Michael Jackson is like, calls Tommy Mottola the devil. Mariah Carey was groomed by Tommy Mottola. She was with him since she was like 16 years old. And she would call Michael Jackson. So would Britney. Like all of these girls and all these kids, Macaulay Culkin, would call Michael Jackson and be like, pretty much help. And so, I don't know. There's more to MJ. He had the money and he was brilliant. Like he was so smart. You can watch old interviews of him where Oprah's trying to ask him questions and he's trolling her to her face. Like to her face. She's totally unaware of it. And he's just trolling her to her face. And it's just like,
also, the company that bought Britney Spears' catalog, it's called Prime Wave or Primary Wave or something. It started, the company started when Courtney Love sold Kurt Cobain's music after he died to them. So, like, the origin of that entire company started from Kurt Cobain's death.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up, too, because that's on the timeline this week that they believe Kurt Cobain's murdered now. And so I randomly put out a post, lazy, in the middle of the night, that I'm like, Courtney Love spread heroin to 2 countries. She is like completely CIA. She probably, her father was literally the road manager for the CIA acid spreading Grateful Dead. And when you look into her mother's biological mom is like some crazy socialist author. Like when you look into her whole bloodline, Courtney Love's not a punk from Seattle. And so her like handling Kurt Cobain and then having his death end, and Dave Grohl's a bad guy too. And, but obviously Courtney didn't go in there with the shotgun, and she might have not known, but Courtney, what does she do right afterwards? She gets her Hollywood, like, she becomes a celebrity by doing The People versus Larry Flint with Woody Allen or Woody Harrelson. His dad killed JFK most likely, or one of the people that's involved in this.
I'm just gonna put this out there on the table, but Courtney Love was maybe like a prototypical Erica Kirk in a way.
She was that weird kind of performative wife. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, and I don't give a shit. I think it's Sketch City that Candace Owens' father was involved in Sandy Hook. And I think the entirety of TP Toilet Paper USA, which toilet paper and the American flag just reminds me of when they like MK Ultra'd us into all think we're going to run out of toilet paper during lockdowns. And so TP USA and everything about it, you can't convince me Erica Kirk is this bad person. And then also tell me out of the other side of your mouth that Charlie Kirk is this brilliant person and he knew nothing. And then none of their fucking kids are real, y'all. Like, so there's too much of this story that I'm more likely to believe that Charlie Kirk faked his own death, played along with the whole thing. And so when cross-eyed Cash says, see you in Valhalla, and I put in Valhalla, Greenland, it pulls up a place, and Donald Trump sure is bringing up Greenland a lot. So it's just, to me, I think there's like crazier tales in this whole fiasco, and the entirety of Turning Point is some kind of like weird, I think it's more Mormon than it's Christian, but it won't take that turn for a few years. But I just think something's off with it. So Candace Owens becoming the opposition to it validates it. And so she doesn't make me feel any better. It just feels like the CIA doing what the CIA do. She's playing that you have to have a Joker and a Batman to sell this story.
Yeah.
And so that's what I feel like they're up to.
That's how you get it swinging.
And so I just am not into the whole, I think that whole story, it's crazy to me. But then it just feels like the second I thought that was fake and that he was involved, I'm like, all these assassinations, the people could be involved. They could just fake their death. And then I'm going to Valhalla. Yay, I played my part. I'm a CIA agent. I never had any lineage. Everything is fake about me. And so I'm just an orphan kid that gets to go play in Antarctica or whatever.
Speaking of Antarctica, so scientists think an $80 million wall around Doomsday Glacier will slow sea level rise. So there's another Frozen Disney of it all. So they're going to build a wall around a glacier in Antarctica. And tell me that's not burying the whole ice wall of Antarctica thing.
So then when you look it up, yeah, totally. If you put in wall in Antarctica, and they also keep putting up a bunch of pictures of Patagonia, and people in the comments are like, this is Patagonia. They say it right there. But if you look in South Antarctica, there's a Patagonia, Antarctica. You just have to put in Patagonia, Antarctica, or it's always going to pull up. And I think it's Argentina. But it's just crazy. Like I watch people's justification for things to stay in comfort levels of things. And it's just like, just stay with it. Like, don't worry about the ice wall yet. Don't even take the trip to the ice wall yet. Like, why don't we just see if NASA can actually get off one of these moon missions without keep delaying it since 2023
Right?
to see? And I really believe they're like, fuck, how are we going to recreate the CGI? I really think that's the biggest problem right now, why they can't go back to the moon, is because how the shit are they going to send us something that any of us aren't like, so I ran it through my CGI detector and look at frame 3. Like, we'll all be on it. Do you think people are going to buy the moon landing like the same as they did the last time?
I don't know if there's really any chance that people that already are convinced that all of NASA footage is faked and CGI and hologram and live. There's no way that any new footage will prove, them false like that, because it'll just be like, yeah, well, look at how great AI is now. And it's legit. It's a legitimate retort, right? It's like, yeah, the NASA's CGI department used to suck, and that's why they forgot about the flag, and that's why they forgot about the crystalline structures in the background and the shadows. Like they just screwed all that stuff up. But now that they've got AI, like, yeah, they can just pump something out that looks good enough, and you're just going to get debunked by CNN and Daily Beast anyways. So what's the point?
Yeah. I had one today where I was just like, okay, you'll believe when Anderson Cooper tells you. And the person was like, I listen to more sides of news than Anderson Cooper, but really I was just planting the seed of like, Anderson Cooper will be a fun one once this onion keeps unraveling. Like, out of everyone, he'll be a fun one that keep going down the rabbit hole of.
He might be smart enough to not, like stick his neck out too far. I feel like Don Lemon's the one that's probably going to get caught up, but he doesn't have the same old school money. He's like new money versus the old money of Vanderbilt's.
I almost feel like Don Lemon, like, it doesn't seem like you get to go as far as an actual gay man because there's less blackmail to hold over your head. Whereas if you're a closeted man, then there's good blackmail. So it just seems like Don Lemon, he's low hanging fruit. Like he thought he was going to, like he got his script and he's like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do my script. And they're like, you'll be fine. We're going to take care of you. And this time they were like, bye, Don Lemon, have fun with, because his whole thing is, this is my First Amendment to go into this church and disrupt this service. When in reality, the First Amendment is to worship as you see fit without being disrupted in the service. So it's just like, you can say whatever you want to say. You're not allowed to say it during a service because that's also part of the First Amendment. You can do it from the parking lot.
Yeah.
But in here, it's like every single religion, you get your freedom of religion. You get to go inside that church and worship as you see fit. So there's certain funny things. Yeah, that it's like a picky and choosy. And who's the is your lawyer good? Well, you get a televised trial, but it's just kind of funny to me that I just think some people really were like, yeah. I'm going to be in the Minnesota thing, and I'm going to go in, and I'm going to be a hero, and I'm going to get my Don Lemon card back because I've been off CNN, and I missed my Don Lemon card. And then he went in, and he felt so good for a day. And then Nicki Minaj called him a cocksucker. And then he felt extra good because now has that like it's starting to swing. We got our duality, like we got our pendulum.
Yep.
And then he just got like put out like a candle. Like it wasn't about any side being against him or not. It was just like up and no one
really
cares.
Don't care about you.
No one, the most liberal old lady that watches CNN every day doesn't even remember who Don Lemon is. Oh. Virginia Guthrie. Have you guys kept up with that case at all?
No.
Just reminded me of it. I haven't either. I keep hearing things that
Well, she's the one that got hit by the bus and then died, right?
Oh wait, that's Virginia Guthrie. This is what I do every time. Nancy Guthrie, and this actually drives my Maria crazy.
Yeah.
We had this full week where I was talking about Virginia Guthrie, and she was trying to tell me about this whole Nancy Guthrie thing going on. And I was thinking for real that Virginia Guthrie's sister's mom went missing. Like both their moms went missing. Like I just mixed their names up in my head. But I heard that this lady, Guthrie lady, a husband or a male counterpart to one of them is a co-conspirator in the Epstein files. And I don't know. I'm like so far away from this case. I don't want to muddy the waters at all. So completely ignore that if it's not true. But somebody smarter than me in the audience validated if it is. But have you guys kept up on it at all?
Nope.
No.
Another millionaire dies every day.
I'd heard of it, so.
Yeah, I was like, literally don't care.
Neither do I.
It sounds so cold, but I just feel like I only have a certain amount of space. Like, I can't care about every single cartoon character that
I don't believe it anyway. I just think it's nonsense. So
next channel.
Yeah, it feels like baby Jessica at a well.
It does. Or John Bonet.
John Bonet thing. I think it's hella interesting.
I'll even throw like Princess Di in there.
The entirety of Princess Di?
Like the whole caring about her dying turning into like its own media frenzy and commemorative figures and
dolls
and dolls
Beanie
and babies, yeah.
But an interesting thing about Princess Diana, and I always, not that everybody blah blah blah, but her, same as Selena, I think when people get to a point of like whatever ground roots organic thing where they could actually get on the mic and speak up and be like, this is what I want to happen, and people listen, I don't think that person gets to stay. And the way that Princess Diana was bringing attention to AIDS at the time, they still wanted us to treat AIDS people like a pariah. So she wasn't supposed to be in Africa holding an AIDS baby.
Yeah.
And there is some things about her that I just feel like, including the relationship with Dode Fayette and his father always saying they were murdered, they were murdered, they were murdered. And then the cousin of Dode, Jamal Khashoggi, gets chopped up in the embassy. Like the connections of Princess Diana still go on, but I also believe the only reason she wore that crown is because the royal house was completely falling after World War II, and Winston Churchill was the only thing that could save them. And so he shook hands with the Queen of England and said she could keep her crown, but the next heir on that throne would be his heir, which would be William, because Spencer Churchill is his family. So it was supposed to be her older sister that married Prince Charles, but her older sister was no longer a virgin. So it ended up being young ass Diana, and it was a groom. She's like 15, 16 years old. He's like in his like mid 20s and shit. And he's really in love with somebody else, but the queen made this deal with Winston Churchill. And so now they have to go through with this bloodline, and that's William. So the second that crown split and a divorced Charles is wearing the crown, when the most bitter thing about Queen Elizabeth was she was always thought her dad died young because he was never supposed to be the king. He wasn't raised to be the king. It was his brother, but a divorced person couldn't sit on the throne of England. So his brother had to step down from being king, and that's how her father became king, and it was her biggest bitter thing. So she, even in her lifetime, says, the crown goes from me to William. It was never supposed to be on Charles, and it sure as shit wasn't supposed to be split ever to Queen Regent or whatever they did with Camilla. So the whole entire thing of the royals is as sus. The entire thing, from the CGI queen to the Paddington Bear queen to the entire thing of the crown right now is as sus to me as the entirety of Biden's auto pen. It's like as phony. It feels like as big of a dance. Like it's not really there, and we're watching it play out with the Epstein files.
Yep.
But I'm a glittery red pill today, you guys. I'm sorry if it's annoying for all the people that are waiting for the Mashiach or the comet.
I love it.
It's just hard for me to believe any way different. It's like, this is the craziest time to be alive. And for a lot of people in conspiracy realm, they were like with their tinfoil hat trying to wake people up and tell everyone. And they felt like they were alone, screaming from their little section of the world for however long. And people heard them. They were planting seeds. They just didn't realize where. And then all of a sudden, wildfire. Like complete wildfire. That's what we're at right now. And so now I'm waiting for a whole bunch of cults to start developing. People are about to get real religious soon, because remember what happened during 2020 and all this stuff when people were finding out about Pizzagate. All of a sudden, everyone had to go get a crystal. They had to start drinking colloidal silver. It was like, oh, there's a whole nother side of what's going on. So I feel like when people lose their shit,
I got just before we completely move on from the Princess Di thing. I was just curious if you guys have ever heard this. Like, what was on her radio after the car crash? Do you know what was on her radio?
No.
A little bit of hair, a little bit of teeth, a little bit of blood.
Bitch. I thought you were going to tell me some fucking. I was going to be like, no, Thomas. Like, you're like, oops, I did it again. No, I'm just kidding. You're like, it wasn't even out yet. She got a copy.
You guys are so toxic. Since you oops, I did it again, I had to play into that.
I know, it makes me, when people play like JFK Jr. is alive, I go always full Michael Jackson. Like 100% of the time, I'm going full Michael Jackson. And then right afterward, I'm bringing back Princess Diana. And then right after that, Selena. Like, if you guys are going to play these people are alive game, like Elvis is still alive, let's go big. No offense to JFK Jr. I know all of our moms thought he was like such a hunk, but in reality, let's say JFK Jr. was alive. Would that be enough to rock the world? Is JFK Jr. a big enough of a person to rock the world?
No, you want to rock the world? We need the king of pop and Prince, right?
Ooh, Prince.
And
Minneapolis.
Princess Diana. We need all the royalty.
Huh.
You know what we're gonna get is just gonna be Epstein. That's the
King
one
of
that's
rock
gonna
and
come
roll.
back from the dead.
We'll add that king too.
I actually do believe the star witness, if we ever see anything, will be Epstein.
Yeah.
There's no way he's dead. And it's so similar how Michael Jackson left in an ambulance and then walked out of the parking garage. That's pretty similar to what I think happened to Epstein.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's too much different. ABBA is huge Crowleyan. It goes forward, backward, and you can put a mirror in the center of it. Which it's
ABBA means
like
father.
you can look at it upside down, forward and backward, and put a mirror in the center. So it's like how many ways it's still the thing is like super magic. But I also, every time Dancing Queen, you guys, that is Colin Powell's funeral. Like the fact that they played Dancing Queen at Colin Powell's funeral
weird.
as the song.
For Colin Powell.
Yeah, that was like so wild. Do you think we'll find out what was in the white envelopes?
I'm dying to know what was in the white envelopes. Like, that is something that I need to know before I die.
I feel it was just pictures of George Bush in a coffin jerking off.
I think it was George Bush. I think it was a picture of George Bush. Like, he's and I also think it's interesting that the Timberwolves are the mascot for the basketball team in Minnesota, and Timberwolf was the code name for George Bush. I think it's curious because I think everything going down right now, as far as like the hype up in our country and the CIA monarching of all of us, is Minnesota in the Twin Cities.
What about Minnesota? Just like the Somalian stuff or what?
Well, every riot, that's George Floyd, that's Ilhan Omar, it wasn't just the club where Derek Chauvin and George Floyd worked, also had tons of counterfeit money, tons of fentanyl. So then everything you think about the fentanyl on our streets and all the people dying and the fent overdoses and everything, and then all this counterfeit Chinese money that looks just like American money. George Floyd had both those things in his pocket. He had counterfeit money. And so Derek worked with him at the same operation, and George wasn't supposed to steal the money out of the operation. And so this was a bigger thing than just cops, but all those cops worked for the operation. And Ilhan Omar's father is connected to owning this whole block that this club's on. So Ilhan Omar, when you look at her father, he was like some high up in the military over in like the Somali army, like Somali military. I don't even remember now. Somali, I don't know now. But, and that's just that. And then Prince is also Minnesota. He's Minneapolis. Like he is like everything to do with Paisley Park and Purple Rain and all that stuff. So it's like if there was the biggest celebrity to come out of Minnesota, you'd have to argue that it is Prince.
Yes, absolutely.
And then Justin Bieber having Prince's purple guitar at the Grammys. It might not have been Prince's purple guitar, but I was just like, boom, purple guitar, Prince. And then Prince's songs are interesting, all 7, and we'll watch them fall. It's not about 7 nations, because who's waiting for Antarctica to fall?
It's the Demiurge, I think.
I think so, too. I think it could be Nephilim.
And I think that's so weird, because then he ends up Jehovah's Witness, and he's like literally, calling people and showing up their house doing the Jehovah's Witness thing. But it's sure, that song is very Gnostic. That is very Demiurge.
I can't remember, but I feel like, and this is allegedly, you guys, I feel like he disavowed Jehovah's Witness at the very end of his life, but I could be making that up because it could be a different celebrity with their religion. Like it could be like Scientology or something at the end of somebody's life.
Well, that could have too been something, it could have been a smokescreen. Who the hell knows?
Prince was interesting though.
Yeah, with his third eye and his sunglasses and stuff. All of it is crazy.
Mm-hmm. And at the same time, since we were talking about Princess Diana, somewhere around her realm of time, Dr. Fauci's mom died. Mother Teresa?
I don't know. I remember seeing Fauci as Mother Teresa.
Wait. what was the lady's name that saved all the kids and went around
Mother
the world?
Teresa. Yeah,
Mother
yeah,
Teresa.
Teresa,
Yeah, around the same time that Princess Diana dies, Mother Teresa dies as well.
Yeah.
And so I feel like she might have died a few days before Princess Diana, and then it's
I
like
think so.
engulfed. And
Also, I don't think she saved kids. I think if you look into that, she would just find where kids were dying and she would like sit there and watch them die. And she thought that pain and suffering brought you closer to salvation. So she was there to like really enjoy other people
I'm not going to
suffering.
save you. I'm going to save your soul and watch you die.
Right. Yeah. 100%. That's what it was.
And then right around the same time that Prince died, Tom Petty died. So if you think of like two huge Americana things, you get like Gainesville, Florida, Petty, and then like Minneapolis, Prince. And they both die of the exact same thing, which I would debate are drugs that came out. They were both laced fentanyl that probably came out of Elon Omar's dad's little bar that he doesn't own, that Derek Chauvin and George Floyd worked at.
And he apparently died from complications of the pandemic too. Her dad did.
And the marry the brother thing. Anyways.
Purple Rain was big in Stranger Things season 5.
But then also Purple Rain would be talking about the royals.
Yeah.
Like the whole European
Purple Rain.
Yeah. 5 days before Mother Teresa.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's crazy.
Good fact checking.
Thank you.
I saw that on your story earlier. Like, where'd all the fact checkers go? They're in our audience. They're fantastic.
It's crazy to me how, like, if I were to replay the script in my brain, right before January 6th, people started losing their accounts, but they started to get like barred with fact checkers and like Snopes and PolitiFacts, and weird things started to happen to everyone's accounts about literally all the stuff we're posting right now. Nothing's different. It's just we're allowed to write it for some reason now so they can figure out who to put in FEMA camps.
How many TikToks did you lose, Chaney? I think you were up to Project Chaney 7.
Oh, at least.
Yeah.
At
that
least.
one surprises me the most because you would think that China would be okay with letting Americans talk about American theories, but they are actually the most strict out of anybody.
One of her videos, I think it was on Project Chaney 5, within minutes, had 100,000 views, and then it was up to like millions, and then boom,
my whole account was taken down. Like, I figured out TikTok.
Yeah,
like, I figured out whatever it was, and I'm like, oh, I think this is my shit. And for whatever reason, you guys, TikTok is gay as shit. It's so gay. My avatar on TikTok talking about that shit popped off. I might as well have been. Now that you look at it, it's like when I say this, I might as well have been a black woman. Now when you look at every conspiracy theorist that's saying the same shit, it's all black women saying like some of them are lesbians. They're like, damn, do you guys know about this? Blah, blah, blah. But I figured out the TikTok thing. And so when people are like, oh my gosh, they barred Epstein. No, they always did. But there was also a lot of China connections to things. Yes, Israel for freaking days. And everybody's like, China doesn't own TikTok. China owns Taiwan. Taiwan, what do you think Taiwan is? What is your get? Taiwan is like the Alaska to China. It's like called a thing, but all their language, all their currency, all their, like, it's China. And so there's certain things that China didn't like either. Like, I think China, it's all a honeypot. China can't pay money to Jeffrey Epstein to get a weird video and get some leverage with the governor of Oregon, Kate Brown, to send dignitaries over. Not that that happened again and again in Rhode Island and in Oregon and San Francisco. It's the craziest thing. When you look at your tiny little state and Chinese dignitaries coming to visit them, and you would be like, I did not even know they were here. Yeah, they don't let you know, especially if you're in a red state. But if you got some creepy governors and they're hanging out with China. So I think there's different interests involved. Like, China, there was a thing. Recall from China, all the pet food's poison. Recall from China, all the baby food's poison. I'm like, who would buy baby food from China?
I know. But then where is it sourced though? Anyway,
What?
It was like
this is blowing my mind.
Was it a Friday?
Tupac and Mother Teresa did. It seems like it was a Friday because wasn't it a fight night or was it a Saturday?
I don't know, but September 13th, I'm just curious.
What year?
97. Machiavelli, because Tupac called himself Machiavelli.
What day of the week was it?
It was a Sunday, I think.
Oh.
No, because Tupac got shot after a Tyson fight, right? That would be weird.
Saturday. It was a Saturday.
Saturday. A Saturday night. Saturday the 13th. Tupac. That's a P. Diddy. And apparently a whole bunch of people left the country too. Like that's been a huge thing. All these people missing.
Like recently or on September 13th?
No, just recently. Like Jay-Z left the country, but maybe he's back. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with people, but apparently like a whole bunch of weird people that were coming up in the Epstein list were also taking trips overseas.
As one does.
Well, it really is a matter of time, I think, before it's not because like a whole hit crew is going to be planned and come after these people, but there's a better likely chance that just some random mom loses her shit at dinner one night. Like in the idea of like you're Peter Thiel and you're out to eat one day, just some mom stewing and she's eating her clam chowder, looking at this bitch fucking laugh with his 1,000 bottle of wine and his gay friends. And she's just sitting there and she's just sitting there. And then she has enough drink herself and she goes up and assaults him in this restaurant and lets it all out of the Epstein files and people record it. This is the more likely shit to start to happen to these people. And we get to witness it. Because everybody records everything now. And so we're going to get to witness these people not being able to be on the streets because everybody is aware of their crimes. And I think a lot of people in Congress, there's a lot of people that aren't the fucking dirtiest things in the world. Some people just were like, hey, I'm going to take a little bribe, whatever. Like some people are up to whatever. But then there's some people that gotta be doing their dumb shit. They're not worth $1 million even. They're just like, they're low hanging fruit because nothing has to be done. They're just dumb and they're like always play along when you need them to without them even knowing that it's part of this whole darker thing.
Who's the lady from Alaska that there was like a photo of her getting like pinned up against the wall by like Pelosi or something, like
Dianne Feinstein.
Yeah. And Feinstein was going to it was like Murkowski or something.
Murkowski, yeah. I love that picture.
Like the Murkowski lady seems like what you're describing here. Like you don't even have to bribe her. You don't have to like she'll just kind of fall into place if you just exert the right pressure in the right places.
Yeah, this is such a power move picture.
I already know exactly the image because it's one of my favorite ones. It's like the Teen Girls, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Murkowski's just dumb and she just really wants to be friends with Dianne Feinstein, and Dianne Feinstein hates her and like mocks her every chance she gets. They like bully her. Like the blue-haired lady picks on her. Nancy Pelosi's like, look at old flat chest over here. Some of these people are so crazy. And then it was also crazy how like during this whole time of things was the same time that all the people, like there was the Pussy Hats and RBG, what's that fucking Supreme Court judge, that Ruth Bader Ginsburg, RBG, where it's like the same people that they're blue hair now with their nose rings and whatever, but they all just started out as like wearing shirts that were like Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
You know what was so weird about that too is that the elementary schools, they there's a series of books, I forget what it's called, but it's Who Is, and they're kind of like biographies. I guess they are biographies, but they gave almost every single kid at the elementary school who is Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and none of them read that book. I can tell you. I feel like so many of those copies got thrown away. But I've never seen that big of a push with a book before, and I was a reading teacher, so it was just bizarre.
What book again? I'm sorry. I was
Who
paying
is Ruth
attention
Bader
to Sarah.
Ginsburg? It's a kid's like biography series. It's Who Is or What Is. Some of them are What Is, What Was 9/11. You know, it'll have stuff like that. But
We talked about Leopard Killant, Kim Noble art, and all the art. I did not bring up this yet, which is so. I just think it's interesting, and maybe it's just me. Like, this is such a weird logo, and why would you go with this? Is there a story behind it?
Horse.
Yeah, like, isn't it? I mean, the Templars were poor or something, so they had to share horses. It just seems like
there's a few angles to this, right? So that's the official explanation, is that they were supposed to be 2 to a horse because you're broke. Part of the reason you were broke, though, is that to join the Templar, you would give them all of your everything, your land, your money, just everything that you owned, all your material possessions that would become theirs. So it was kind of like communism in a way, right? Like everyone kind of shared the same pool of resources, which is what allowed them to become like incredibly powerful. But then there's also the concept of that they were just banging each other because it was the only way that they could remain in isolation and not be tempted by like the material world and evil women out there. So they would just kind of like give a brother a hand every once in a while.
And
Handy.
you balked when I said guys will put their thing in any kind of hole, and I'm just like, you know, if you can be gay and take one for the team so you can just keep doing your job, that kind of validates my theory, I think.
It's like Back to the Dolphin, like, get back to work so you can concentrate.
Yeah.
But it's so Brokeback Mountain. Like, everything about it makes me feel like some conspiracy theorist channel out there should do a whole deep dive and compare the Knights of the Templar to the story of Brokeback Mountain and see how many crossovers.
Well, even when you're saying that they're broke, I'm hearing Brokeback Mountain.
That's what I did too. And it just is so similar. Like, I can't quit you. Like, can't you hear that other guy say that in the other guy's ear?
Yeah.
I can't quit you. Like,
one of the most romantic lines ever.
And they are close on that horse. And then I'm like, gosh, that poor horse. But who knows what they were up to? This gets it all into Mr. Hand stuff. So I didn't mean to do that to you at the very end of the show. But the Knights of the Templar is a weird thing.
Sigillum.
But then the other side of my contrarian brain says the Catholic Church hated them.
Yeah.
Why? Like, why did the Catholic Church hate the Templars really, but we only get the Catholic Church history?
This doesn't come up often either, when the whole like 2 guys, 1 horse. It's funny to say, but also if you look in, there was a death of this guy named Kenneth Pinion from like 2005 or 2006 that that died from making love to a horse, and that apparently like they would court the horse and the horse would come out and pick the like a bunch of guys would get together once a year and the horse would come into a room and it would like nuzzle with the guy that it wanted and actually lead them back into the stable. And they were doing this for years until one year, this guy ends up getting his stomach perforated by the horse. Yeah, I'll leave it up to your imagination to figure out how that happened. And then all of a sudden it became like a news frenzy and it became like a big thing in the news for at least like a month or 2, I think. But it's like it revealed yet another one of these weird little communities of people that you were like, oh, I didn't even know that was happening. Apparently it's happening in such large numbers that there's entire communities and like Club Meds like set up just around this particular concept.
Well, since they were against the Catholic Church, we need to do like a Secret Society of Good Guys emblem that that mocks this one.
All 4 of us on the back of a horse.
Yeah.
Or on the back of a dolphin.
Yeah. That's so funny. That's so crazy.
Since we mock like the other secret societies with our normal emblem. I mean,
I know I don't even want everyone to look it up, but that Mr. Hands video, it's one of the reasons that I started to see like Joe Rogan, every single one of his guests, the same way he makes them all smell smelling salts now. He used to show them all the Mr. Hands video. And I never looked it up, but I've worked in restaurants. I've worked in welding shops.
I don't know what this is.
This is what you're talking about in 2006. This is the video.
Oh, you're right. You're 100% right. His name was Mr. Hands. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so this is the whole video. And so many men in my life, like the amount in 2 months period of time in different facets of my life, the amount of men were like, Chaney, have you seen? And I was like, what? And I never look at anything. It's like, I won't smell something just because you tell me it smells good or bad. I'm like, tell me what it smells like. Or I won't taste it. I'm like, tell me about it. So
no, but she's like, taste this. It's not hot.
I might
okay, bitch, I know it's
I'm
hot.
not a person. Once anyone says to me, like, I won't watch Benji the Hunted. I don't want to watch Old Yeller. I don't want to watch. So when somebody says anything to me with like, it already hurts my heart immediately. I don't want anything to do with it. And so I'm so glad, but the amount of people in jobs that they would be like, come here, look at this. And then it's in their head forever. And they can't ever, it never leaves your head. Like you're almost have a spell on you of that happening to somebody. It's so crazy. But I feel like that was weird that Joe Rogan, like, I wonder sometimes if like the same as ivermectin, it's like, did everyone hear about Mr. Hands from Joe Rogan? Like,
there was a documentary called Zoo that came out and maybe like 10 years ago. That's where I heard about it. And it's probably where most people, if you didn't hear about it from the actual news article, that repopularized it again.
I also am going to tell you for real, I can't even watch, like I watched a guy, he raised this crocodile that got one of its arms cut off. And then he ended up taking care of it from the time it was little. And now it's this 20-foot crocodile. In my head, I'm like, that guy's fucking that crocodile. And then eventually the guy dies by crocodile. When I see people like Siegfried and Roy, I'm like, those guys are doing weird shit to those tigers. Like I don't see like it never seems like a man in the house with his pet. It's like a man sleeping next to his snake. I'm like, that guy's fucking that snake.
How does that even work?
I don't know, but they fucked the fish
They
and
do
then it
have
changed
poop
my
balls. Have you ever
whole
seen a snake
entire reality, like in my world. Like, is there no end? Is there no end? Like sometimes I feel like such a prude, but then I feel like the world's rolling forward so quickly. And this is kind of what I feel about the Epstein files in a way. Like we're all being groomed. We're all being groomed for the most horrific shit. Like you can't ever undo it once you see it. Even telling somebody about it, our head, when we used to read stuff, our imaginations were so strong that the movie always disappoints us because it's not as good as what we created in our head. It has nothing to do with the writing. It's because the person we created isn't as good as like whatever. Yeah. So I feel like a lot of this shit, it's all in writing. And people create this horrific shit in their head. And Hollywood got very cozy, giving us 50 Shades of Grey and all the softcore porn so they could walk people into torture without knowing what it was. And then now they all are creating this like groom in their head of horrific shit about humanity that they never thought beforehand. And I know everybody's like full disclosure. And I just feel like it can be disclosure, but it doesn't mean everybody's face, we have to rub through it at dinner. Yeah. Or like my job, I feel like sometimes knowing the darkest shit is so my sister can raise her 5 daughters with the softest, most innocent brain. I don't want her to have to know about all of it. I want to protect them all from it. And sometimes it's knowing parts of it, like be careful walking to the thing. If you're 16, don't let some guy pay for your massage school. You know, like there are different things of it, but then it's like some of these dark things that are coming out in these files. And this is Pizzagate. Like once you get to the Podesta emails, this is it doesn't get any better from here. And there's still 3 more million emails that are going to be released from this thing. So I don't know.
Just kind of back to your whole theory, if they're all sheep, maybe not all the sheep need to be waking up. Some of us are sheepdogs and we're here to keep them protected.
Yeah.
I like when you said it like that.
And I don't love the idea that some people are privy to the information than others, but no, everybody should have the thing to look. But I just used to be a person like the ugliest of the world. I was just like, look at it, like holding their eyes open like Clockwork Orange. And now I just kind of feel like if people come broach me, I'll be like, I can tell you like an autist ran, or I can give you like a soft shoe. Like maybe it's a 60 minutes. This is as deep as Netflix is going to go. Where do you want to go with this? Anyways, I forgot I had the Knights of the Templar next to us the entire time.
Because we need to make a sticker.
Boom.
I agree.
I think all of us on a horse is the funniest thing ever. Like I might have to mess with it enough.
I know.
Like, do you guys have anything else you want to talk about before we leave, or anything to plug before we head out of here?
I'll plug. I got just a few sampler packs left. So it's got the occult calendar, and it's got 3 comics and 3 stickers and a little conspiracy trading card, all for $20 shipped. So I think I've got maybe like 10 left or so. So anytime I mention it, I end up moving like 3 or 4 of them. So hopefully this will help me move the other half that I got remaining.
So guys, paranoidamerican.com, right?
Paranoidamerican.com. It's right there, right on the top left. Shipping included, $20. Couldn't be easier.
And I wish I had it right next to me, but I actually have it in the bag I leave the house with. My occult calendar, you guys, even like the Super Bowl or the Grammys or the Oscars, we could talk about those rituals. But then if we were trying to find these other things, like where I'm like, let me look up what weird dates, and we have to wait, for somebody brilliant in the audience to know. The occult calendar has all of it. It's like I've used it sometimes to be like, oh no, I didn't prepare anything tonight. What are we going to talk about? Open the occult calendar.
And we only made 1,000 of them, and there's literally like only 20 left. Donuts completely sold out of them. I was just talking to him this week about version 2. So we're looking at making a follow-up to occult calendar. It'll be the same thing, but just with even more dates in it and some other like cool little updates.
That's awesome.
And this is, look at Diet Chrome, Adrenochrome, Adrenochrome. Alex Jones is having his comeuppance this week because, Eddie Bravo pretty much validates on Alex Jones. And I'm telling you guys, next week, this is all part of my Sarah Palin. Being a flat earther and Pizzagator is next week. Fighter and the Kid has to talk about the fact that I did this video, and also next week, because of how hot this little clip I made is, Joe Rogan's gonna have to have Eddie Bravo on. It's about that time. It's been in like a little bit of time, and Sam Tripoli is fantastic. He's gotten so much better at just nailing information and laying it out to Rogan without being like shoehorned into like weird bow hunting convo like Rogan does. But Eddie will give it to Rogan. Like they've been friends for so many years and what have you. It's like Eddie has like, we'll see. But I'm just putting this on the timeline. I'd like to see that. Brian Callen's going to have to talk about all this shit on Fighter and the Kid next week. And hopefully Joe Rogan has Eddie Bravo on. And you guys will know that we're that much closer to Sarah Palin bringing up Pizzagate and Flat Earth. And I don't know why. This is a weird one, but let's go weird. Like, you can only kill the Queen of England once. Do you have anything going on, Abbie?
I'll be on the Perceiver podcast on the 18th. I was supposed to do it a while back, but that's when I was having internet issues. So it's next week.
I also have been hanging out with the Spiders on Tuesday nights. Sometimes after they get off air, I'll be in their Patreon and hang out with them for hours. Usually like 3 out of the 4. I don't know how many they had, but I feel like I missed the last 2. But to be fair, I had a lot going on this week. And then Jules was off the week before, so I wasn't allowed to play late night online. But if you guys ever want to hang out, you can always go and follow Ben Balderson or the Weaving Spiders web. And I think there's links to all their after show. And if you do, I will shout out to Ben because he's been playing. It's a debate panel. Raging Tomato. I think her name's Sarah Tomato. It's her show. She used to be on some other podcast that couldn't open a pickle jar. Like that was his thing that he became famous because he was some like alpha guy that couldn't open a pickle jar, but she was something to do with him. But now she has a different podcast. It's like a debate show. Ben Balderson's on there a lot and he's an unofficial co-host, but he carries a nice weight on there. And I like find myself watching it for way longer than I anticipate. I'm like, oh, this is live. Let me click on. And then somebody will trigger me or something. They have a good conversation. It's her format and the way she does it is like people pay a lot of money. It would be like if we were like, oh, if our audience gives us $10 right now, we kick this person off the stage, or somebody could put in the audience for $10. I want to hear Abbie and Layla debate about blank. And then you guys there's like interesting stuff in it like that. Like it's very interactive, but I think Ben's amazing on it. So shout out to all those guys and go support them and do that stuff. So, all right, you guys, we love you so much. Have a happy Valentine's Day.
Lupercalia.
Here, wait, Abbie, give them hearts on the way out. Free hearts.
If I can get, I suck at this.
Pinkies together.
Can you save us, Britney Spears? Can we be saved? God, why is Satan controlling the universe?
The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Our possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunnilingus, good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically, good guys. Conspiracies, sex, cult, Jamaicans, it's okay to change your thinking, good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys. The world we used to think we knew is constantly exposing woo. Possibilities come true. So what we do is call out to the good guys, good guys. Witches, widows, MAGA, mystics, entertaining cunnilingus, good guys. The forum of the quorum needs a secretive society to advance our philosophies intentionally, magically, good guys. Conspiracy, sex, cult, Jamaicans, it's okay to change your thinking, good guys. Good guys, good guys, good guys.
You want the bamba? You want to cheer with the big boys? Some of the move kitty with the herb, the other bat with the drunk cup. Hey, let me see how the thing goes.